Welcome back, everyone. It's John, Wade Boggs fan, and welcome to another episode of Hobby Talk. I've been collecting cards for over 40 years. I have modern cards, I have vintage cards, of course, I have Wade Boggs cards, and I collect memorabilia. But the one thing I really don't have as part of my collection is a decent amount of unopened material, rack packs, unopened packs. And my guest tonight, that's one of the key focuses of his collection. And his name's Brandon of Brandon's Baseball Cards. And so let's bring Brandon on. How are you, Brandon?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Very good. Very good. So my goal here, and I've watched your videos. We've interacted on, offline, off of YouTube. And talking about some rack packs. I was looking into maybe a Wade Boggs, one that had Wade Boggs on it and stuff. And I've always found your videos interesting because, again, it's not an aspect of my collection that I really know much about. And I've learned a lot from your channel. In fact, how to spot fakes or even how the cards are aligned in rack packs. And so, really interested in learning more about this. But let's find out a little bit more about you for those that are watching that maybe not familiar with your channel. How long you've been collecting, what got you into unopened material and that type of thing.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me on, and thank you for, I'm glad that my channel's informative. I try to balance, fun with, some knowledge. I've been collecting since I was about 6. My grandfather is really the catalyst for my collection, and he and I still collect and talk cards to this day. But when I was little, he had all of these unopened wax packs and at the entrance to his card room. And they were really old. 1971 Topps football, 1961 Fleer football. He had bought them years ago in this big purchase, just a lot of unopened packs. And I didn't know it at the time, but I've thought about it. And I really think that was what got me interested in collecting unopened, was seeing those packs and just marveling at, wow, no one's opened these. Why? These are meant to be opened. Why aren't these opened? And I think that's really what started it.
Yeah.
And so I've only actually been in unopened, collecting unopened for about the past 3 years or so. Okay. And the first pack that I actually bought, I went right away to the heavy hitters. I bought a 54 Bowman football penny pack.
Oh, wow.
At the National in 2018. That was the first pack I bought.
How many cards were in the pack?
Oh, it's one card. So it's one card per penny. Okay. And then I went a 54 Bowman football kind of crazy. I bought 2 others. I had at one point I've eventually moved a couple of them, but just because I was into baseball. I'm a baseball guy. Yeah. I thought they were cool at the time. I kind of went through a phase, I guess, if you will. But yeah, the first pack I bought was 1954. So now I just mostly, 1980s, just because that's what I can afford, to be honest with you.
Yep.
This market is just insane, and unopened has not been spared. The prices on unopened are just through the roof.
Yeah. But I had an eye appointment a couple days ago, and his father was in the minor leagues. And for the Cincinnati Reds, I think, and had one call up to the major leagues, and I think got one at bat, and I think struck out. But he is on a 1963 Topps rookie card. Now, not the one with Pete Rose, but one of the other 4-player rookie cards.
Oh, wow.
And so when I first went to him, I was like, oh, man, you have been. And so he was telling me about his dad and how he still gets stuff through the mail for his autograph. He's like, I played in one game in my major league career, and people want my autographs. I'm like, yeah, you're on a card. You were on a team of a certain thing, and people collect that. So every time I go visit, we're talking baseball cards and stuff. And I start talking. He goes, boy, this market is crazy. He says, there's a Michael Jordan card that sold for $100,000 and stuff. And I was telling him about unopened packs and how we were going to be online tonight. And he's like, so people keep packs unopened? I'm like, yeah. He goes, I wouldn't be able to do that. I couldn't be, hold back. He says, I'd want to open them. I'm like, well, in some cases you don't want to open them, because if you're dealing with 30, 40-year-old gum,
Oh yeah.
you don't know what you're going to get. I do know that much.
Yes.
I did watch that one video. I forget who it was opening up. Was it a 75 tops?
The box 72 Opeachy.
Oh, 72 Opeachy. Okay, I knew it was in the early 70s and stuff. Yeah, and that just every pack was skunked, and it's just
and
yeah. Hey, Camden,
and not to pick on that channel any more than I already did in the video that I did on that channel. Not to bring up any, I got some difficult responses from that commentary, but that is the most sugary gum that there is. Yeah. So if you're trying to open product, stay away from early 70s Opeachy.
Yeah. I mean, also it was so the regular tops had a different type of gum than the Opeachy did.
Yes, less corrosive. Yeah, for whatever reason.
Okay.
72 Opeachy, I think 71 Opeachy as well is just really, really, just don't open them. Just keep them sealed. So yeah, do your homework if you're going to open. Ideally, don't open anything earlier than 1978. Kind of keep your hands off that. But if you can't help it, then just do your homework.
Well, you mentioned 1978. That was the first year that I started collecting.
Sure.
And the 78 set, just even the design, I'm a little biased on the 78, but I just love the 78 top. So I've been sort of, some of my vintage focus is, working on, 78 stuff. And I checked an unopened box, and I don't know, this was maybe sometime last year, just for shits and giggles. And it was like $1,800 a box for that, right? And I'm sure it's over $2,000 now.
For a 78 box?
Yeah.
Oh, way more. Yeah, way more.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I can't even tell you right now what it is. I wouldn't surprise me if it's three or four times that now.
I would just for the nostalgic, not as an investment or anything like that. Just I may break down and one day buy a pack. Yeah, even that'll probably cost me what, $60 now or something like that.
If not more than that, yeah. You'd almost be better off just for some reason the market is the Opeachy market for late 70s is a little bit softer. So if you want the nostalgia without the price, but you might just want to go with an Opeachy.
Yeah. I may just have to settle for buying a wrapper.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And there are people that like wrappers. And I've never been one of those guys, but some of the artwork. What first got me really interested in to go back to the story of my grandfather's card room was the artwork on wax packs. And that's what drew me to the 54 Bowman football, even though it's a penny pack, obviously, and the card is, roached inside. There's no logical reason you would ever open that pack. I have seen people open penny packs from that era for whatever reason. But the artwork is just incredible on some of those, including the 78 tops with the catcher. That's an awesome. And the 78 rack packs, they're still relatively affordable. You can get $250 to $300. You can get a 78 rack pack with star showing sometimes. Yeah, so not as bad as.
And again, I wouldn't necessarily worry about whether stars show. Again, just for the nostalgic episode. Before we continue, are you able to see comments?
I have not seen any comments. No.
Yeah. Okay. So I know Camden.
Yes, I can actually.
Okay. So Camden Hill, I think he's one of your followers and stuff. I think I saw when you posted something. So yeah, Camden's online. I think we have a few others. So yeah, feel free to chime in with questions for Brandon or myself. So the other thing that I noticed in your videos is you'll almost immediately, if you buy a rack pack, you'll have it sent to, and it's who's the authenticator, the
baseball card exchange.
Baseball card exchange. Okay. Yep. Now, all they do, they encapsulate, and you've shown me, how they have it, and all they do is authenticate it, right? They don't grade.
Exactly. Okay. What Steve Hart's the only authenticator. So he does everything. So if it's in a baseball card exchange wrapper, whether it's a wax box or an individual rack pack, he has looked at it personally and deemed it to be legit. And there's only been one instance where I've sent him a pack, and this was a killer pack too. And the frustrating experience looking back. This was a 1983 Topps pack. Okay, it had Nolan Ryan on the top in the middle, Nolan Ryan super vets on the top, and Tim Raines on the top.
And three Hall of Famers. 83?
83 Topps. So
yeah, because I remember super veterans. Yeah.
Two Nolan Ryans on top and a Tim Raines on top. He sends me this long email. Brandon, I just can't wrap this. And he was concerned about the collation. This is before he's still learning as he goes with collation. If I would have waited like 6 months to send it to him, he probably would have wrapped it. But me, like an idiot, I opened it because I was convinced it wasn't legit when he said it wasn't. But a double Nolan Ryan 83. Oh, yeah, that one got to me. But that's the only one he's ever just said. If he's not 100% sure, he just doesn't wrap it.
Yeah.
You know, but I send it straight from eBay. I have Baseball Card Exchange as one of my shipping addresses.
Oh.
So I don't even deal with the pack until it comes from Baseball Card Exchange.
Okay. Well, here, Alan here, he has a good question, and I think I know the answer to this. Can those old racks be pre-searched? When I was a kid, I remember pushing the cards around to see the names on the back, not proud. Yeah, as far as I know, depending on how loose what you call them cells, right?
Yes. Yeah.
How loose the cards in the cell, you can sort of with your fingernail and stuff and slide in, and depending on the design of the card, whether it be the number, the player name, you may be able to tell, oh, I think that's card number this, or I can barely make out the guy's name. Oh, that's I remember. In fact, I think I remember doing that back in the heyday of like the 88 Donners when I was looking for like Greg Jeffries or it's something
Sure.
Back then, you go to Kmart or something like that, and you see all these just tons of rack packs, and you just go through and oh, I think that's one. I think that's one. Or you see a rated rookie, and you pull that one off. Yeah, Alan, you can. There's ways of doing it now. If assuming you don't damage it or anything like that, I mean, it's still a legit rack pack. I mean, but it wouldn't. You couldn't sell it. As this rack contains because I checked and searched. It's basically the value is what's showing on the front or back, the clear right. That's where the value is.
Yes, generally I've seen sometimes on eBay someone will say guaranteed, like 1988 Topps football guaranteed Jerry Rice inside. It's like, okay, you shuffle the cards around, good for you, But most of the time, as a collector's item. Right. Most of the time there's some exceptions, so if you see an 83 Topps rack, for example, and there's the Bill Verdon card, Bill Verdon manager card on top. Okay. There's about a 50% chance that there's a Tony Gwynn rookie in that.
Because of the collation.
And so there are some cards where even if you don't shuffle the cards around, if you just know, okay, this card's on top, there's a 50-50 coin flip here. I could get a Gwynn out of this.
Yeah. So Rocco was accusing you of cornering the market back then, I guess.
54. And there was only about 90 those penny packs graded at the time, and I had 3 of them, which I thought I was running the show.
Yeah. Hey Lou, how you doing, buddy?
Hey Lou, how you doing, man?
So okay, so you have Baseball Card Exchange.
Sure.
Will authenticate. Do they do any grading, or is it just authentication?
Well, Steve Hart is the pack grader for PSA.
Okay.
He is the only pack grader that PSA has. So he gets freights and freights of packs to grade, and so or to authenticate. Okay. So he authenticates it, then sends it back to PSA, and assuming that he's said this is authentic, then they grade it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Now, I have seen obviously unopened wax packs. I have seen cello because I've seen Wade Boggs pop up on the front of a cello pack, and maybe we can discuss whether that's even because of the collation, whether that even could exist or whether they're all fake. But and I've seen them graded, but I don't know if I haven't searched.
Sure.
Are there rack packs that get graded? Or is that just because of the bulk you can't really put a grade to it?
Yeah, there was one company that did GAI when they were around.
Okay.
They would grade rack packs. And I don't even remember the grading scheme, but they had their big plastic kind of clunky looking holder. I don't like how they display it all. I prefer to just put it in a top load, and then stack them. I just stack them in my card storage area, just like you would cards or graded cards, But yeah, no, they yeah, no.
Yeah. Well, Brian here, Tops Vintage 316. I don't know. I don't think you really get involved a lot in card grading. And for me, it's I strictly do PSA. I had some vintage done BVG just because I didn't know anyone who could submit it with PSA at the time. I regret it.
Sure.
I eventually want to get them flipped over. So Brian, to answer your question, I've heard mixed things about CSG. Is that the new one that has like the green label or something, or is that even yet another? I think there's like 2 new ones coming into the market now. I don't know. I think the jury's out with these new grading companies. I think they're offering some cheaper costs to grade, but they're only allowing so many cards to be graded at a time. And I think, I hate to say this, but I've heard comments of like, hey, I think maybe some flippers that don't want to wait for PSA are trying this one out just to get their cards returned. It's a cool label. And I'm not sure how it's going to be received in the secondary market, that if they're going to get the return that they want. Again, I go with PSA only. It is the industry leader. I don't submit stuff to PSA. I just buy stuff already graded. If I ever wanted to sell any of my cards or needed to sell, I'd probably get more money in a PSA slab versus the others. But it's just for uniformity, the registry. So there's some things that I like PSA more than the others. And again, Brandon, I don't know if you have any comments, because I don't know if you do much.
Well, some of the I have not submitted anything. The only thing I've ever submitted are to PSA, and those are I submitted a World Series ticket to get graded, and I submitted an autograph to get graded. But the CSG, the 2 main guys at that company are pretty big names in the hobby. So there was some idea that maybe, well, because they're standing in the hobby, maybe this will be something that catches fire. I just don't see it. I think the closest rival to PSA is SGC, and SGC had a chance to really take some of PSA's business, and they punted. They raised their prices too. I think they should have stood down and said, no, we're not raising our prices. And I think it would have that would have been, but that's an outsider's perspective. But yeah, SGC would be the only other one that I really buy ever. And
I think they're starting to get into, or people are starting to submit more modern, but they've always been, I think, known for vintage pre-war. It was their sort of niche. PSA sort of like the middle ground, and then like BGS for modern. That was the general thing. But Lou has a good question here.
Sure.
And you may have addressed it in one of your videos or something. If you have the stick of gum and it's broken, and I think technically you were said that it does affect the value.
It does affect the value of the grade. I think the highest you can get with broken gum is a 7, if I'm not mistaken, for the pack. Okay. But the biggest problem with broken gum is the gum is moving around, and so when you get a pack graded
and scratch,
it could come back a 9, and you'll get it back, and it'll have 3 little holes in it where the gum is poked through since it's been slabbed. So pack grading is a different animal. It's not like a card that sits stationary. Gum moves, packs shift a little bit with the gum, and so there are packs that are graded a 9, and that you can see, like
over time after they've been graded.
Yeah,
just because of the pressure of the ceiling of it ripped.
That and just the gum moving around. So if you're going to get a pack graded, it's best that gum is stuck to the top card as much as possible, because then at least you won't be, it won't be shifting.
Wow. That's again, I'm learning a whole lot. And if you could, and again, I think a lot of people probably the ones that are watching us did see your one video,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't remember who was on the top of the rack pack, but you saw a listing on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that that's fake, that there's no way that you could get those like 2 cards or the one card in the cell. Just quickly, because I know your video went really in depth, but quickly explain. In fact, I was when I was out with for supper with my wife before this. Again, she's somewhat interested in my collection and all that stuff. I was telling her about your interest and how based on the sheets and the collation and how they put them in rack packs, you can tell. So if you maybe just briefly explain how you realized one of those rack packs was fake.
Well, with most years, not all years, 1983 tops, 1985 tops in particular, are pretty much wild cards. Anything can happen. Any card can appear in any cell at any time with those 2 years. So put those 2 years aside. Generally speaking, with other years, there are certain cells that have cards from specific sheets. And so, for example, with 1979 tops baseball, right, the sheet that Ozzie Smith is on will only be in the header cell.
Okay.
And so if a legitimate 79 tops rack, the Ozzie Smith will always be in the header cell. It's easier if you're a fraudster to slip it in the cell furthest from the header. You try to do your little incision or whatever, and you slide it in. 100% crap. If you ever see that, a 79, it has to be in the header cell. Ideally, if you're going to spend that kind of money on a rack, make sure Steve Hart has already looked at it, because if it's raw, I mean, you're taking a gamble. But you could tell right away with that. Another one would be 1975 George Brett, Robin Yount. They are in the same cell in a 75 rack. So if you ever see a 75 rack that somehow magically has a Brett and a Yount both on top in different cells, 100% garbage. It's garbage. So there's some things you just have to, and the only way to really do this is to just keep looking at packs and and then
just like everything, the more you do, whether it's something within the hobby or anything else in life, the more you do it, the more experienced you get, and more where you can spot things. I'll see some listings for a Wade Boggs autograph, and I think to myself, either he was extremely drunk when someone said sign this card, or it is a terrible fake. I mean, I can look at a Wade Boggs autograph because I've seen so many of them. I can go, that's fake or that's real, or it may look bad, but that's his signature. Maybe he was rushed or something, signing 800 sticker autographs or something like that. You can tell. Now, do I have that same knowledge on a Mickey Mantle autograph? Heck no. I'd be the first sucker to say, I know something about the banana in the M's. Okay, I'm not, and I can't even remember whether banana means it's fake or not or whatever. I'd get suckered if I didn't buy something authenticated with a Mickey Mantle autograph. So,
well, and the problem with packs, pack grading is really an authentication. I mentioned early on that Steve Hart he's learned as he's gone in some respects. And there are some packs early on that he looked at and gave the okay to, and they're in a PSA slab and they're not real. You will never see a legitimate unless we learn some new information about collation that I don't know. You will never see a 1980 top cello pack with a Ricky Henderson rookie on top. They're out there in PSA slabs. One sold the other day on eBay for a lot of money.
Wow.
Mint 9, I think it was. Big money. It's not real. You'll see it's a low serial number.
Yeah. Start with 0 or something.
Pack grading. And over time, you learn. Just like with the double Nolan Ryan rack I referenced earlier. If I would have waited a little bit of time, he would have said, well, I've looked at enough of these now. This is probably legit. So it's an imperfect science, even for the the main guy. It's definitely where you should go.
Right. Camden has a if there's an extra card in the pack. How does because I mean, I don't think that would happen very often. Just like the machine accidentally, maybe a card sticks or that, however, and maybe you get an extra card. Well, how can you tell whether there's an extra card in the pack? I guess that would
Yeah.
be my question.
Yeah. And I don't, yeah. And I don't know how that would affect the grade, if that's even in their grading criteria.
Maybe the thickness of the pack you can
Yeah.
tell.
Yeah. Maybe.
And
Because I mean,
maybe they would think that it's not authentic because it's thicker than a normal pack.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. No, that's a very good question, Camden. I honestly don't know. I'd be curious to see how often that comes up. Maybe it's more frequent than, especially in the early days with quality control being what it was with some of these early 70s Tops products and things.
Yeah. Rocco has a nice comment here. I mean, that's, rack packs. And
yeah.
Again, I've debated. I've seen some that would have a weight, and we're not talking about very expensive, like an 87 Tops or 88 Donners with weight bogs on top. I'm not worried about that one being faked. Who's going to fake?
Yeah.
A weight bog showing, and again, as long as it's the other ones just have nobodies. So I would feel confident, and they're not that expensive. I just haven't gotten around to, but I think it'd be cool to have maybe like a display case with some unopened rack packs, and I think because it's a display piece, and it's neat that they haven't been, as Rocco says, not affected due to gum, and you can see more of the cards. And so
and generally this builds on Rocco's point. The condition of the cards in rack packs, a legitimate rack pack, the card should be mint, at least the corners. Obviously no guarantees on centering. You can't make that promise with a wax pack or a cello pack. You could open a cello pack. A 1980 Topps cello pack right now is about $275. You could open a 1980 Topps cello pack, and not only do you have a very low chance of getting the Henderson, if you get the Henderson, it very well could come out X. And now that's cool. You pulled a Henderson, but you just spent $275 on an X5 card that you have to now get graded. So rack packs are the way to go for I think for opening product as well. If you're looking for the mint cards, if you're just doing it for nostalgia, I think it's a different. Yes, but
well, speaking of nostalgia, I don't know if we need to get into it right away, but as part of this, since I've seen Brandon open up some packs. I tend that the packs that I open are ones that the new stuff. I found retail at Walmart, and it's the latest stuff. But seeing that we're talking about rack packs and unopened packs, and maybe stuff from the 80s and stuff. Brandon, you have some stuff that we're going to open up at some point here. I went to the my local card shop, bought some early 80s stuff that brings back some memories. So at some point here, we'll open up some stuff for everyone and see what we get. And hey, I see my buddy Eric. How are you? Yep, we're having a great night so far. Hope you are. Again, Camden has he said he has some good questions here. What grading service do you trust the most to grade a rack pack? Well, didn't you say there's really only one out there now?
Yeah, there's no. That was a company that is no longer in
the
existence.
GAI.
There is no rack pack grading company. There's a rack pack authenticator, and that's individual rack packs. That's Baseball Card Exchange.
And Baseball Card Exchange, are they the only ones that grade unopened?
They're the only ones. They're not the only authenticators. No, there's another company called Ripping Vintage Packs. Kurt Christensen's company. He's a really, really good guy. I participate in his breaks on Thursday nights, and he has gotten into from a sealed case authentication, which is denoted as FASC when you're buying an open product. It's when buying FASC is a great way to ensure you're not getting what we call a Frankenstein box, where people have just taken 2 packs from here, 2 packs from here, and just thrown them in, and then they get them. All the packs are legitimately unopened, but you could open 2 boxes of 82 Donruss and not get a single Ripken and go, what happened? Yeah. Well, someone just picked up a whole bunch of packs and put them together. From a sealed case, you're guaranteed a box that has not been tampered with. So he does authentication of that, and he also authenticates. Recently, he's gotten into from a sealed case boxes, just like Baseball Card Exchange. So Ripping Vintage Packs. Another company is O-Pee-Chee Cards. They also authenticate boxes, but individual rack packs, so far it's only Baseball Card Exchange, and the only authenticator for PSA is the owner of Baseball Card Exchange, Steve Hart.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, Eric, we do not have 84 rack packs. I picked up an 87 Donruss rack pack from Schaefer's, and Eric is familiar with Schaefer's. Just to tell a backstory for you, Brandon, and for others, um, I'm trying to think now how many years ago it was. 3-4 years ago, stopped at my local card shop, and they had some magazine racks that they didn't need anymore. And I had stopped in, and I was doing the Boggs room, and you may be able to see it, maybe right there, some magazine racks. And I said, boy, I could use them for my Boggs room. And so I went that day to pick them up. And here's this customer, and he helps me load them into the car. And I said, hey, thanks or whatever. And somehow when I started my channel, he saw me and he knew about Boggs and knew about me. And I said something about a Boggs collection. He goes, wait a minute. Are you the guy that I helped put racks into a car? And I'm like, that's you? And yeah, Eric and I we've been following each other's channels ever since and stuff. And he was in the area a couple days ago. I had something planned, so I missed seeing him, but he did stop by my local card shop. And of course, when I went in, he just told the guys I was supposed to pick up his bill. So, no, but yeah. So that was.
So that they had 84 Tops racks or 84 Donruss, or what were they? What did they have?
They had, and I don't know. I know they had an 84 cello pack that I bought, rack packs.
Okay.
I think maybe I want to say no. They had an 86 Donruss. I know. I was tempted between the 86 and 87 Donruss rack pack to get.
Sure.
I didn't look around too much on the wall there, but they may have had an 84.
Oh, okay. Yeah, some of the early 84 Donruss, because the price of a 10 Mattingly has just gone through the roof. $75, $85 for a rack pack of 84 Donruss. And then that's really the first year of Donruss that is actually you can pick up an 84 Donruss rack pack without too much difficulty. 1983 Donruss, which is one of the focal points of my unopened collection. Cello, there's a lot of wax racks. It's a rack pack with 3 wax packs in it.
Yes.
But the cello rack packs, for whatever reason, they're just not around. You see maybe 5 a year on eBay, 10 a year on eBay. They're just not around. And so because it's hard to find, that's kind of been one of my hunts. So I've got a few right now that are getting wrapped by Steve, and I've got some in my collection. But yeah, Donruss, some of the early 80s is really hard to come by.
Yeah. So Eric, I guess you looks like you maybe Schaefer's did have some 84 top racks.
Okay.
I didn't look around too much. I know I wanted to get one rack pack to open. And the reason why I picked 87 I love the 87 Donruss design, and I remember buying, this was probably maybe 88 or 89. I don't think it was an 87. I was up in Massachusetts visiting my grandparents, and I heard about some show or whatever. My dad took me, and I bought a box of 87 Donruss packs. And I think my willpower lasted about a day. I was like, do I want to keep it unopened? Do I want to open it? Do I want to keep it unopened? And back then it was like, the Bonds rookie, the McGuire, all those cards were like $3 or $4, and so I broke down. I'm like, okay, I'm going to open them. I did not get a single Greg Maddux, and I think I got a Bo Jackson. I think I got some of the other ones I was hoping to get, but I didn't get to Greg Maddux. So here, this is the rack pack I picked up. Hopefully, there's a Maddux in there. We'll see. So I left here. You left a few, but hard to resist. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if there are any with stars on top, try to keep them. Although 84 Tops, for whatever reason, 84 Tops is one that it's technically, you could classify that as vintage for unopened, but there's so much of it still around.
Really?
84 and 85. It just seems like eBay every day, and decent ones, with the 85 tops with McGuire on top, the 84s with Mattingly on top. They're plentiful. And so rip away,
Well,
like that's, I think that's a year that's fair game for a while. Some years it's like,
yeah.
okay, that I can't even watch you do
It's
this
starting to
because
get
that hurts.
it's starting to get rare. It's starting to get harder to find that you may want to keep it intact, but
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, rip away. So have a good time, Eric.
yeah. So, well, I mean, hey, since I'm talking about the 87 rack
Sure.
pack, how about I
Sounds
open it and
good.
see what we get?
Sure.
All right.
Sounds
So of
great.
course on the back you have, in fact, yeah. So you can see it here. You got the Roberto Clemente
Sure.
puzzle pieces, and so on the front we have Dwayne Ward, rated rookie. We have Andy McGaffigan of the Expos and Keith Moreland of the Cubs. So let's open up the first cell and see what we get here.
There you go.
All right. I want to make sure I don't bend that. All right. So again, we got the Keith Moreland. We got, Dave Stewart.
He
Bill
should be in the Hall of Fame.
Swift. Yeah. Kurt McCaskill. That's showing up there. All right. Roger Clemens, Diamond Kings. Little off center there. Still pretty cool.
Yeah.
Vaughn Hayes. I remember Vaughn Hayes. I never liked the Phillies, but I remember Vaughn Hayes. Drew Hall. Let's see. Joey Meyer. Oh, I remember Joey Meyer was sort of a thing in the around 86 or something like that. Some rookie, but he never panned out. David Palmer. Oh, okay. Next one's decent. Hall of Famer. I don't know if I ever had this one. Ryan Sandberg.
Oh, cool.
The corners are pretty good. This one has a little bit of a white mark on the corner. Not a ding. It's just but Jeff Robinson. Dave Kingman. Oh, blocking his head there. Mike Brown. I don't know why this isn't focusing very well. Maybe I need to do it back here. But Dave Sachs. Ed Lynch. I mean, for the most part, the centering's fairly okay. A little bit off, but $87 is tough for centering. So let's see if we can see who's in the middle cell here. Again, I want to make sure. All right, come on, Maddox. Let's get a Maddox here. Okay, this is the Andy McGaffigan. Got a Bo Diaz. I think I remember him.
Yeah.
Bob Nepper. Daryl Porter. There you go. Mike Flanagan. I think he was a decent pitcher for the Orioles. Vance Law. Keith Hernandez. Bobby Bonilla. Still getting paid by the Mets. Gotta love it. Mike. Here, how about we do this? There, that's the mail list. Mike Kingery. Zane Smith.
This is bringing back memories of some of these names.
Yeah. Howard Johnson. We got Terry Mulholland. At first, I thought I got a Ricky Henderson, but no, it's a Dwayne Murphy. I looked quick. Mike Smithson, and a Jack Clark. There we go. Cardinals. I know he always was a killer of the Mets when the Cardinals and Mets would get into the playoffs. Hated the Cardinals because the Cardinals seemed to have the Mets number. So let's see what. All right, here's the last. That first one they had a little bit of a ding. That's the Dwayne Ward. And we had again, good player in the late 80s, Ruben Sierra.
Cool.
Floyd Bannister, Alvin Davis, Jimmy Jones. Don't quite remember Jimmy Jones. Len Metstuchik.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, Nick Asaski. I heard of him. Nick Asaski. Cliff Johnson. Benny DeStefano. I'm getting toward the end here. I don't think so. Greg Pryor. Jimmy Key.
He's a good pitcher.
Yep. Donnie Moore. Rick Roden. Nope. Mike Fitzgerald. Oh, okay. We ended with on a very good note. So
okay.
I thought maybe that Roger Clemens Diamond Kings, but this is really well centered, and it was the bottom card, Mr. October, Reggie Jackson.
Oh, nice.
I'll take it.
Sharp.
That's really that's pretty sharp there. Yeah.
Yeah, especially some of the other cards have been missed or off center, so that's a good one.
Yep. I ended that on a good note. Probably not didn't get $8 worth, but you never know with that Reggie Jackson being graded an 8. Who knows these days? You slap a 9 or 10 on it and you can get $40 for who knows.
Yeah, that's true.
But
I might go ahead and open it. I have a 89 Donruss wax pack, so let's go.
Yes, let's go Griffey.
Griffey and Greg Jeffries. I think it's the other.
Yeah.
Gary Sheffield. Oh, some Hall of Famers to start. Oh, this is going to kill me. There we go. There's Robin Young.
Oh, Robin Young. Yep.
Where is Puckett? I am doing. There we go.
Yeah, nice.
Dennis Martinez. This is more difficult than it looks. Everybody, don't make another Hall of Famer. Girl, this is much harder than it looks to do. Carlton Mark McLemore.
All right.
I'm going to just keep starting at the side, I guess, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Oh, that one I almost got. Alan Ashby.
Yep.
Todd Worrell. Juan Samuel. Okay. He was
Oh,
right.
yeah. Yep.
Tom Browning. Good pitcher for the Reds. That's cool.
Yep.
Mark David. These are all off center, but that's just this era. Craig Lefferts. Over the
Craig Lefferts. Oh, yes, I remember. Yep, I remember him.
Oh, okay. Andy Van Slyke. There we go.
Yeah.
Good ball player. Oh, I got a Ron Gant. I got another Hall of Famer. Got a Ryan Sandberg. There we go.
Yeah. We both got a Sandberg. That's right. I pulled a Sandberg out of that too. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and then Kevin McReynolds and Harold Reynolds. Might be Harold Reynolds rookie card, I think.
There you go.
Or no, it's not. Not even close. Is this a different Harold Reynolds? No. Interesting.
No,
okay.
I think
Well,
that's
too much for that one.
Yeah, Don. I think I have not quite as many different Boggs T-shirts. I probably have about 6 or so. Try to rotate them in my videos, and if there is, and maybe which is the next topic we can go on here before we maybe open some more, the national. If there is a national, and there isn't some ration tickets or whatever, and I'm planning on heading out. If any of you out there see a guy that looks somewhat like me but is wearing a Wade Boggs T-shirt, it's me. So last time I was out, the last national in 2019, every day I wore a different Wade Boggs T-shirt. So if you see someone in a Wade Boggs T-shirt, feel free to come up and say, "Yeah, you that guy that." Yeah. So, so I know you did a recent video on your thoughts of the national, and it is starting to get crunch time. I mean, we're at essentially the end of March, so you got April, May, June. Yeah, technically it's at the end of July.
Yeah,
but I would think at the very latest they need to decide by the end of April. At the very latest.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think they're really, um, it's really getting down to crunch time. And the bad part is only time is going to tell with the vaccine distribution and how that goes and what happens with the numbers, because the numbers right now are soaring in a lot of states. That's not good,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it sounds bad. It's not meant to sound bad, but if you want to do your part, put a mask on when you go out, because it can be, this could just as easily not happen. Just as
Yeah.
easily not happen. Um,
I gotta have a shout out here to Colton.
you know,
It's my buddy Rich's son, and that's his on Rich's handle there. So hey, Colton, glad you could join us. So yeah, and the other thing, and I don't know if you brought it up or someone else did, that even
mhm,
if they have it,
yeah,
I've only been to two nationals before,
mhm,
and day of the event or whatever, you can just go up and buy a ticket and you win.
yeah,
Right? I mean, there was no, hey,
yeah,
sorry, we're at 6,000 people and you can. So in theory,
yeah,
yeah, they could have a national and say we are limiting the amount of people, and so there'll be people that were clickers. Okay, someone left. Okay, someone can go in, and they're going to limit it to X number of people
yeah.
inside at any given time. How that would work,
Well,
how that would go over with fans, I don't
well,
know.
and how does it work with? Because like my ticket is a VIP ticket, or do VIPs just get free reign, or are we treated the same as everyone else? Because
Yeah,
VIPs are supposed to get in 30 minutes early.
yeah,
Okay, so
yeah,
is it a free for all for 30 minutes where we're just
yep.
clustered together and there's no like how I just don't know how they're going to police this.
Or
I just
they
don't
don't
see it.
allow ticket, and you can only buy pre-tickets, and you have to
Mhm,
buy, so many, whether it's the entire pass, or
mhm,
maybe they will offer a certain date, but that certain day is for, one ticket's for a certain day. So if you want to
yeah,
only go one day and it's the
yeah,
Friday, you have a ticket for Friday, not a ticket,
yeah,
and limit and say, hey, go on our website, and then it's just going to be a free for all for people
yeah,
to get entry ticket. I don't know. There's, and I don't blame the organizers for maybe not being more specific right now, because the stuff changes on a weekly basis. Like you said, the numbers,
yeah,
what the city of Chicago may
sure,
allow. So there
yeah,
could be other things going on in other parts of the country, but if Chicago says we're still abiding by these certain guidelines, and they're hoping that maybe at some point they get relaxed to where they say, hey, we can now have a normal national. Maybe they're
mhm,
waiting for that. So I understand they're in a hard position because they
yeah,
don't want to commit to something. They want to do a good show. I'm sure the organizers want this to be just like every other national, and the importance of it and the grandness and all that stuff. They don't want to put something together. But
sure,
then again, I've heard that the Dallas show is kicking ass. I mean, that
yeah,
every other month show, what was it? It would have been in February. There were 400 tables. Just this this month here in March, there was close to 600 tables.
yeah, which
So
is rivaling the
Dallas
national.
is
I mean,
Dallas
yeah,
is getting there. They're able to do it now. Dallas is maybe Texas is a little bit more open
yeah,
than maybe Chicago is. So again,
yeah,
it's a regional thing too. So luckily for me, I don't have to worry about a plane flight. I'm going to be driving out. So
sure,
that's one. So that can be last minute. Where I'm staying, I'm not staying right near the convention,
mhm,
so I'm not looking to get a room in one of the 8 or 10 or however many there are right around there. I'll be staying about 45 minutes south of the city. So
okay,
for me, I can wait until a month before. There's an announcement at the end of June or whatever. That's okay. I'm not worried, but I know there's a lot of others that have to plan through work to take off. Okay.
sure,
Sometimes you may not be able to just say, hey, next month I need a week vacation. They may have to put it in a lot more in advance. Plane flights,
yeah, yeah,
and the hotel rooms and stuff. So, yet planning for most of the attendees is going to have to start here really soon,
oh
or
yeah,
stuff's going to
yeah.
get booked up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I've had my hotel booked for months, but I've been holding out on the flight. And when I do book a flight, it's going to be either when they can guarantee there's going to be a show, or I'm going to make sure I book a flight that has a return policy where I can, or exchange it for another flight or something, because we have to make plans. It's part of such a big event. Is you have to have a place to stay. You have to have a way to get there. I live in Alabama, and my brother is coming up, so driving is too long, so we're flying. So they're really. I do not envy them. To echo a point you said earlier, I do not envy the situation they are in, and I'm sure they would love to just come out and say, "We're having the show. We're having the But if they do that, and then they have to pull back on that, then you're going to have a riot of.
No, I'm not. Now, I may be further away from Chicago than you would be from Chicago, but in central Pennsylvania, I'm looking at a good 11-hour drive.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not sure what it would be for you, but I did it before.
Sure.
I'm used to driving. I can drive long distances, and my wife's coming out with me as well. So if need be, we can split the driving up.
Sure.
But yeah, in fact, that's another reason why. Again, it doesn't have to be this year; it can be another year. But with the other reason why we're going out to Chicago is again to hang out with my friend Rich and Colton, who's I think still on here. And just to see him, see his updated box collection, all that stuff, hang out, have some fun, and of course go to the National. So we're treating it as a little bit of a vacation, but my wife is actually interested in at least maybe just one day just to see it, because she knows enough about cards that she'll see stuff in the display cases and just see how much money is in these and just flabbergasted, because I'm sure she'll go, "Oh, that's a nice card, but for how much?"
yeah, sure. Yeah, my wife. There are times the money that I spend, we allot a certain amount in our budget for, we just call it fun money. So we just kind of, that's what I use. In my, so I'll say, "Oh, I picked up this killer rack package." She'll be like, "Do I want to know how much you spent?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it.
No, it's covered.
But it's not real money. Not real money. It's fun money." But yeah, no, some of the prices are just, and you grow, and it's a source of frustration, which is something you've talked about on your channel. I know I've talked about it.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Again, I've gone the gamut of doing a frustration video, then doing a video of like, "Okay, John, that's reality. Let's get back to enjoying it. Like, what do I enjoy? What's still great about? There's still great things about the hobby. YouTube, this interaction, this is all wonderful. Let's stay positive." All right. So with that, I've said, okay, I can't afford higher end vintage. Some of these stuff, it's above my price range. Okay, fine.
Sure.
So let me look at 4s, 5s, maybe depending on the year, maybe a 6, things like something collector grade, maybe. So I first started off, okay, for a 1970s card, I'll look for a 6. Okay, and a 6, maybe a 5 or 5, to maybe one grade lower than the year type of thing. Still in the range of collector grade. What's frustrating now is not that I can't afford the nicer cards. I've set that aside, no problem. I'll deal with it. Maybe one day price will get lower and I can get some nicer looking cards, but that's fine. Sure. The frustration is I do my listings. I look through my eBay search, save searches. And for a certain card or a certain player, like I said, maybe a 4 is fine. Maybe stretch it to a 5, depending on what it is and stuff, in a nicely centered one. And I don't care about corners. All I see are 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s. They're the listings just seem to be flooded now on eBay with these high-end grade copies. And I know that I'm not gonna, I'm trying to fill out some of the last 78s that I need of Hall of Famers in a PSA. Now for 78, I'm making an exception there. I want at least an 8. I have a couple 9s. Most of them are 8s. I want really nicely centered cards, good corn, just for that year. Any other year, I don't care. I'll get a lower grade or whatever. I'm looking for the few that I need, and all I'm seeing are 9s and 10s. Or if I'm looking at some 76 tops, which I've learned to love the design for. I'm seeing 8s, 9s, 10s. Like there's so many 10s that are popping up. Like even if they start at, $9 opening bid or whatever, I know they're going to go for several hundred or $1,000, for PSA 10s. That's the frustration. I'm not finding the listings for the 4s or 5s that are in my price range. If I can find one, I'd be happy. Hey, I got a 4. I picked up recently a 64 tops rose in a 4.
Sure.
I had saved up some money, still costing me around $300,
Sure.
but I saved it up. And because that was the grade I was looking for. And I found a nicely centered copy, a little bit of a stain on one side, but hey, presents beautifully. And I was so happy. All right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I want to look for a 4 and another one, again, I'm seeing the 7s, 8s, and 9s. And I'm like, where are the 4s? Show me the 4.
Sure.
So it's not price now, it's availability. It's the supply. I can't find the lower one because everyone's selling higher end stuff. To maybe make out.
Yeah. Well, what's frustrating about the unopened stuff on eBay is I can literally see the prices going up in real time, because what happens is well, I'm partly to blame too, though, because like I'll see a deal, I'll go, oh, that's an amazing deal, and I'll snatch it. It'll be listed on eBay, and it'll be within 2 minutes I've seen it and it's gone. Sorry if anyone else is on here and trying to get some, but like this dealer, they notice that and they go, wow, that sold really quick. My price is too low. I need to up the price. I need to up the price. I got speaking of $83, I got an $83 rack pack yesterday with Gary Carter and Tony Perez on top, 2 Hall of Famers on top. Hard to find rack pack with just common showing. I was stoked. It was about $100, $99.99 with free shipping. I go back, the dealer has 9 more listed, all common showing. They're now $140 a piece.
The commons.
I guess because he just saw that I bought it about a minute after he put it up and thought its price was too low. So
shoot. Yeah.
In real time, when you see it, it's like, that's frustrating.
Well, I and again, this is for a future upcoming episode. I just won it. I haven't got it yet. But again, getting back to the 78 tops.
Sure.
I'm looking for an Andre Dawson second-year card. So I understand it's a second-year card. I don't think it's a rookie cup.
Sure.
I don't think. But I wanted it in an 8. I kept seeing 9s and 10s, 9s and 10. I'm like, okay. And then when I would see an 8 pop up, they were going maybe 6 months ago. The average, the high price was around maybe to $25 or so. So I bid a little bit and I just get outbid. And it just seemed that every 8 was like they would look at the last sales price. Now, these were all auctions, though. These weren't buy it now. But the bidders were like, okay, the last one sold for 26. I better bid 28 or 30. Okay, it sells for 28. Next one sees, okay, now it used to be where there was a going price for a card. Now it seems that it's the latest sold listing. That's the benchmark, and it's usually at a high price. So then they say, okay, in order to get that card, I'm gonna have to bid higher. And then it sells at that higher price. And then the next one that gets listed, well, look what it sold for last time. In order for me to get that, I better bid higher. So I finally won a copy and I had to pay $43. So then you add shipping and tax. I'm in it for $50. But now, again, I don't care if it's worth $50 in years from now. I don't care, because again, it's at 78. I wanted that. That's my project. I how much it's worth doesn't matter to me. I wanted that card.
Sure.
And we're not. And I don't want to complain. But, some people may say, John, you're complaining that it went from $26 to $43. Big deal. I'm a cheapskate. Okay. I look for the best bargains. I don't have a lot of money. So to me, if I could have saved $5 on a card, by bidding differently or looking at something else, I kick myself like, oh man, I could have saved $5. Okay. Now again, grand scheme of things, it's not that important. I paid $43. I wanted the card. Okay, fine. But that $43 is now, I mean, that was maybe not the highest price, but it's up there. So
Yeah,
now the
sure.
next one, if someone lists it, buy it now, they're going to say, buy it now for $60. That's going to be the next. If someone lists it, buy it now, it's going to be for $60. They
Yep.
say, hey, if someone's going to pay in an auction 43, they really want it, they'll pay me $60 if they really want it. And then that's a new price. And that's what's happening now.
Sure. Yeah, no, yeah, I think there's a lot of truth to that. And I think it's very similar with the auctions for unopened. I think it's a very similar dynamic because people look at sold history and then they go, okay, ooh, I have a similar pack to that one, and that went for 140. I'll do 170, and then that sells for 170, and then on and on and on, and so it goes. And here we are. And what's interesting though is actually the unopened market's kind of stabilized in the past few weeks. Things have they're still, when you think about what we're doing, what we're spending money on, cards in their original packages, and how kooky some people, including myself, get over this stuff. It's still asinine when you think about how much we're spending, but the market, at least the past few weeks, has not cooled, but stabilized a little. That's just my.
Yeah, I've heard there are other, and maybe not just baseball and other sports. I think it's been affected in basketball, maybe because it's in the off season. But
Sure.
there are some of the bigger rookies that were selling for $8,000-9,000. I forget which one. Someone said now that the latest one sold for like 6,600. So I think you're seeing some softening. I don't think we're seeing a crash at all. But I think and it's probably certain sports, certain players, maybe a lot of people thinking, hey, it's gone up so much so quickly, I want to cash out, and maybe it's a flood of supply. And I always thought, and I saw on a Facebook post somewhere that with the 2011 Topps update, Mike Trout. I mean, really, if you think about it, you could, any given day, you can find on eBay a 9 or a 10. Probably. I haven't searched because I'm not in the market for it.
Sure.
But if it becomes so commonplace, again, if there's so much supply of it, at some point, the people that really want that Trout rookie are going to have it. And unless you're big on Trout and you get multiple copies, at some point, the people who really want that Trout are going to get it. And so the ones that are just holding on for value and they look to dump it, there won't be any taker at $3,000. Well, then they'll relist it at 2,800. Oh, geez, there's no takers. Okay, maybe I'll list it for 27. And when that starts to happen, then I'll think it'll start leveling off, and then if anything, maybe getting to something reasonable. Because if they're not flipping and the collectors just get it for their collection, it's not going to hit the market again.
Sure.
And I can only go off of my perspective. There's various ways to collect, but for me, if I have a card of someone, that's enough.
Yeah.
All right. I don't go out, and even with Wade Boggs, I look for the different ones. I don't try to hoard every Wade Boggs or say, hey, look at the. Now I should say that I have 1,084 Topps Boggs cards, but other than that, so yeah, it's going to happen eventually that these things die down.
And answer Henry's question real quick. A 1990 Fleer baseball rack, Henry. For 1990 Fleer baseball rack, you're not an idiot.
No.
That's fair game. That's fun, just fun ripping. And then there was one other.
Camden though had a question. Would you pay $300 for a graded 70 rack pack?
Well, and again, there's only so many actual rack packs out there that are technically graded, and that was GAI doing the grading. And I don't even know if they assigned a grade or if it was just authenticated. On an average condition 78 rack pack, 300 is probably a little high, but that's probably, if there was a star showing, that's fair. If you had a Brett or something like that showing either on top or on back. Generally, rack packs with stars on top yield a little bit more than if the card's on the back, just because if you're going to present this, it's much better to have the, the main guy on the front as opposed to the back. But yeah, 300, that would be a little bit high for that.
Yeah. All right, I feel like opening. All right.
Sure. Sure.
I have, and again, this has gum, and it was interesting that I think following this, they had to get rid of it because Topps either took them back to court again. 1981 Fleer.
Yep.
Has the gum, and I think after that they had to go to the stickers because Donner's had the puzzle pieces. So I think
Yep.
Flair had to go to stickers in 82 because even though they got in court to say, hey, they can do cards in 81 and break Topps' monopoly, I think they got dinged for the gum. So this is the first pack of 81 Flair that I've opened since 1981.
Wow.
So this will be pretty cool. So I want to try to save this wrapper. It's not in the greatest condition, but I want to make sure that I don't want to rip it. So, and now this is the second series. So chances are there's not going to be any of the like the Craig Nettles or Greg Nettles or whatever errors.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think this pack will have any of the potential error cards. But
the 81 Fleer Ozzie Smith card is one of my favorite Ozzie Smith cards.
All right, well, let's see if I pull. I don't think I have, just in my collection, I don't think I have the 81 Fleer Ozzie Smith. So let's, I'm gonna, yeah. Sorry, I'm taking so long here, but I really don't.
While you do that, I'm going to actually go get a couple things out of a couple of packs that I'm going to. I think that'll be fun to rip.
Okay.
Just give me 1 second.
Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, I am trying to be really careful here. I got the cards out in the gum, and there's the pack. So I'm going to try to see if I can save this, and this would be, neat to keep in my collection here. And I want to make sure that, well, there we go. This one corner is sort of, oh, there. I think I got it now. So what were you?
I recently bought these. These are 1980 Hunts Bred, 1980 Topps Hunts Bred 3-card packs. And 1980 Topps is skyrocketed in the cost of unopened, but you can still get these for maybe $4 a pack. There's only 3 cards in it, but there's
from 1980. Oh, okay, 1980. Okay, it's a repackage. Okay,
I have 5 here. I'm going to open. So let's go Ricky hunting. I think that'll be.
All right. So I got the nice clean.
Cool.
Wrapper. So I'll be able to keep that. So yeah, go ahead and let's get a Ricky.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean that. I wasn't trying to steal your thunder.
I got other ones to open too, and I know you have some newer stuff too. So
let's see here. So yeah, they all came with this Hunts Bred on top. So yeah, it's players with 3,000 or more hits. That's what's on the back. Are these O-Peachy? Hold on. No, these are Topps. Oh, it said O-Peachy on there. That got me worried. Okay, Jerry Turner.
Okay.
It's not the most exciting rip because it's only 3 cards, but Mike Paxton and a Mike Scott rookie card.
Okay. Well, they look in pretty good condition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Eric seems to think, and when I picked these packs up at Schaefer's, Eric, I think, definitely the first series or whatever had a greater likelihood, and maybe there were some leftovers in 2 and then the second printing, so possibly. So maybe so we'll see here. So okay, so we got the first card, and I don't know if how well the gum is going to stick to it. Well, it looks like it may. Well, I don't know. I'll worry about it later. It is a Terry Poole of the Astros. There's the gum card.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Good luck getting that gum off.
All right. So here's a decent player, famous for when he was playing on a different team, but Bill Buckner.
Good baseball player.
Unfortunately, my webcam here doesn't really have I don't have the auto zoom on and stuff, so it is the cards aren't showing up very well here. But Dennis Kinney, okay, we got a Gary Lavelle. All right,
That's a cool image.
Luis Pujols, not oh, and look how off center that one is. Ooh, oh, baby, look at the back. I mean, it's barely on the card
And,
there.
and don't you have
That's
an 81? Don't you have an 81 Donruss to open too?
yeah.
That'll be interesting quality control. We'll see what that. What.
Scott Thompson,
Okay.
still off center, but Omar Moreno. Again, this is just cool to.
Oh yeah.
I do like the 81 Flair design for Larry Bradford.
Hmm.
Mickey Klutz.
Oh, and Camden, I don't know what a chipper rookie would be ungraded. Probably just a couple bucks would be my guess.
Yeah, what 80 or 91 tops ungraded.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
it's 91 O-Peachy is a little bit more,
yeah.
just for whatever reason, but
Champ Summers. Here's a nice one down my alley here. Fred Lynn, still off centered, but nice corners on these are really nice. Jamie Quirk. Oops. Matt Keogh.
That's a cool card.
Rick Peters. Oh, okay. We got a Hall of Famer coming up here, off centered, but really nice. Dennis Eckersley. Look at that.
Oh, cool. Look at the hair.
Yeah, look at the hair. That is awesome. Again, centering's really. I mean, the back's centered well.
Sure. Yeah.
Back's really nice. It's the front though. But hey, it's Bobby Grich. And lastly, Gary Woods. Well, hey, not too bad. I got a Hall of Famer. I got Freddie Lynn there and Bill Buckner, which was, at one point was a Red Sox. So, hey, again, I think it cost me $3.
Sure. Yeah.
That was, considering that a hobby pack, a basic hobby pack of 2021 is $6.50.
Yeah.
This was just as enjoyable for half that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's all. Yeah. That's what I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say right there. And
I'm going to do one more of these. Let's this Hunt Spread. Let's see what we have here. I wish I knew more about these. Some guy, there's unopened groups on Facebook that I'm in, and some guy posted a lot of 11 of them, and I just. But again, compared to the price of wax packs, they're not too bad. If I pull a Henderson, you might hear some bad language.
Yeah.
But Raleigh Estwick. I have no idea who that is.
Was that a Philly?
Yeah. Raleigh Estwick. And Pete Redfern of the Twins.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, not as many cards, but it's 1980 tops. I mean, it's the
1980
same.
tops, and it's I don't know. Again, this is. I mean, I still remember like where I was when I opened some of these. I mean, it's just as a child, it's great to go back, and it's not expensive. It's fun. You may not get a big hit, but that's not. I'm not. I didn't buy these to say I hope I get this rookie in here or that rookie in there. So. Right,
and you're not buying it with some financial expectations either, which is a big thing that people do. They spend like a wax box of 1980 tops now is pushing $10,000. And there are plenty of wax boxes with no Henderson in them. And you just opened, I got 2 Nolan Ryans that are near mint to mint 8. You just spent 10 grand. I hope it was for nostalgia. If you have the money, God bless you. That is way out of my price range, but if you're doing it trying to make money, it's a tough That's a
Yeah.
tough road to hoe.
All right. I'm going to do the 81 Donruss now. Now, this one also has gum, and I'm sure suffered the same fate, and then they turned to puzzles in 82. Now, the condition of this pack, I'm not necessarily worried about the cards inside, but it is a little loose. So when I in terms of saving the wrapper, I'm still going to try to save it here, but it's not going to be in that great condition unless I flatten it out and maybe take out some of those things. So let's see what we got here.
And Camden's asking, out of the 80 tops, 1980s, out of
Series.
1980 top series, or out of all 1980s tops product, Camden?
Yeah, because if it's only 19, I think, yeah, 1980s.
Yeah, the biggest
years.
Yeah, it'd probably hinder the 80 tops because it's such a.
But most likely be a gamble. Well, I guess that's meaning like bang for your buck. Like, which is the, I guess for the price, maybe it would be the 80, because the price that you would have to pay, for the hit that you would get. In other words, if you buy a box of 88 tops, for $20, have fun with it, because there's really it's you're not paying for anything really big. In it. So okay, now it's starting to open up a little bit better here. So okay, I see how they had this. There we go. All right, so I'll save the rest of the opening for later. So I got the cards out. So hopefully the card with the gum is not the big hit. In fact, the gum's actually sticking a little bit to the wrapper. So I want to make sure. That's interesting. The gum is almost, I don't want to say it's soft, but it's still sticking to the, there we go. All right, popped off. Guess what card the gum's sticking to?
Is it a Tim Raines?
No, probably the next to it, Ozzie Smith.
Oh man, that stinks.
It's not gonna. I can maybe play with it. It's off centered, but still, that's got to have the surface. I'm just gonna leave it like that. And who knows? Maybe I'll put it in a top loader.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
There is. Hey, you never know. Someone may actually pay something for it. Okay, so let's go here. We got a Jamie Quirk.
That's nice centering for Donruss.
That one is.
That's very nice centering. Yeah.
This one is not too bad. Woody Fryman. Never heard of Woody Fryman. Well, he looks like he's fairly
he's a big dude.
Broke into the majors in 1966. So maybe that's a little bit better focus there. Victor Cruz of the Indians.
It looks pretty clean. I mean, they look pretty clean. I've seen
they do
81 Donruss where they're all miscut, or you get these.
Dane Iwerg.
Okay. Cardinals. That's cool.
Yep. Dan Dreesen of the Reds. Again, the closer I get it to the camera, it gets unfocused here. Mark Clear. I think I remember him. Angels at the time. Then we got Chet Lemon. Okay. All right. Now, the pack of 81 Flair. There are certain names of players of cards that people make fun of and stuff. And there was where was it here? Mickey Klutz. Okay. I think it's who is it? Oh shoot. One of the guys, he has a collection of weird names. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember. Hold on here. It is, I think it's Hitman 23. I think Mike. I don't know if you know
Okay.
Hitman 23. He has a binder of like weird names, and he'll do some like with food, like trout or anyway. Here's the reason why I bring this up. Rusty Cunts. That's a famous plan right there. Okay, now wait a minute. Now, did he eventually become a manager? Vern Rule?
I think so.
I for some reason I want to say, but I don't know. Oh, here we go.
If not,
Here we go. And it's pretty decent. Little off left to right, but I will take it. The one corner's dinged a little bit, but I'll take it. Pete Rose. There we go.
Cool.
That's a nice one. Image. That's a nice, that corner right down there. It's like a little miscut. It's sticking out a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Overall, again, I'm not sending this to great. It's a nice copy.
No. Yeah,
Ooh, I got the famous checklist. But the next one, we got another Hall of Famer. Now, it's off-centered. And again, it's almost like a little like the cut at the end, just like the Pete Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Yogi Berra.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool.
I remember that card. Yeah.
Yep. But you see at the bottom, I mean, it's this one's actually like a little diamond cut. It's
sure.
It's like a miscut. I don't care. It's again, I'm not grading it. It's cool. Steve Rogers. I think Steve Rogers, he had at least a no-hitter. I don't think he won a Cy Young, but I want to say that he had a no-hitter in the early 80s for some reason. Steve Rogers, I remember him. Len Barker, he did either a no-hitter or I don't think he won a Cy Young, but he had a couple of decent years that I recall. So I only got 2 left here. George Frazier. Now that one overall is not bad.
Yeah, that's
the last one is Jay Johnstone. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's not the last one. That's Jay Johnstone. And the last one is Dickie Thon. There we go. Good old Dickie Thon.
Cool.
Hey, again, I got it was a Pete Rose. I got a Yogi Berra, and I got an Ozzie Smith gum card. I mean, how cool is that? The Pete Rose. Yeah, cool. That was fun.
I did a break last week with Ribbon Vintage Packs, the company I mentioned earlier, and I did an 84 mixer. So I got an 84 Donruss pack, an 84 Fleer pack, 84 Tops pack. The 84 Tops pack, I got the Mattingly on the wax.
Oh,
dead centered, gorgeous card, giant, nasty wax.
On the back?
On the back.
On the back. Well,
on the back.
I picked up, what was it? Shoot. What card did I just pick up? It was a fairly decent one, and it had gum stain on the back. A little bit, you could tell a little bit. And you know what? And I said, you know what? It was a 75. Who was it? A 75. But anyway, I thought I could still see the back. It was still a decent looking card. It was a vintage card. And again, so yeah, Mattingly being new, there are still a ton of better copies without the stain. But I didn't mind. I didn't mind it so much because I knew why that wax stain was there, because it was in that part of the pack.
Yeah, sure.
So to me, that says something unique about the card. And anyway, I don't know. But
sure. No. I mean, and I don't necessarily mind it. I just, given that I paid money to be in the break, I would have.
No, absolutely.
That's the only.
Like you said, otherwise, could have been at least a 9, right? The way you were describing the
centering. Yeah, it was very, very nice. But yeah, and he was the Kurt. He was more frustrated, I think, than I was with it. He was upset, but I guess because the centering was so nice. But it happens, that's part of the. If you're not willing to take the risk, then don't open the stuff, or ideally don't view it as a risk. Just do it for fun.
Yeah. Camden. Yes. Believe it or not, checklists are graded.
Yes.
And checklists in depending on the years, the further you go back, a lot of the kids marked up the checklists. If they got a card in pencil or pen, they'd check the little boxes. So if you have a really good condition checklist, not only will the companies grade it, but it may be worth something if it's really good condition and unmarked. And I think, what year is it? I want to say maybe 69. The checklists actually have a small little image of a player.
Yeah,
So
there's a
for player collectors, Mickey Mantle, I think, is on one of them.
Mhm.
So it's a checklist, but a lot of people consider a Mickey Mantle card because it's on it. So yes, Camden, they grade checklists, and if you get them in really good condition and depending on the age, could be worth a decent amount of money. So
yeah,
now,
some like a 1956 Topps checklist baseball. If you get a near mint 7, you're looking at several $100 for it, Camden.
team
So
cards as well, Camden. Team cards. Now they stopped around. Was it 8? I don't think there were team cards in 82. I think there's maybe team cards in 81 Topps. And I don't know if they brought it back nostalgia, but I think maybe that around that 80, 81 time frame, they had team sets or team cards, which is like just a big picture of the team. And you get some, especially from the 50s, the Yankees or the Dodgers, you can barely make out the players, but they're worth something too in really good condition. So just a regular team card. And some of them have the manager on them. And if they're a Hall of Fame manager, case in point, 1979 Topps Dodgers has a small little image of Tommy Lasorda, Hall of Famer. You get a graded 8 or 9, you could be looking at 40, 50, 60 bucks for a team card because there are not too many people grade the team cards, so the supply is low, demand's high, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, what do you have anything else to?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I've got some more. Yeah, I've brought plenty. I'm gonna keep digging into these 80s because I'm curious.
Yeah. How many of those did you get?
What's up?
How many of those did you get? Those 3 packs?
I got a lot of 11.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I have. I think
well, okay. So you got a lot of them. That's 33. That's basically like 2 regular packs.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Bernie Carbo.
Yeah. Really off center.
Yeah, but why is that name familiar? Bernie Carbo.
Anyway. Game 6 of the 76 World Series. He's the one that tied it up when it went to extra innings before Carlton Fisk.
Got you. Yes. Okay. I knew that name from something in baseball. Yeah. Okay.
Got the great Dorian Boyland rookie card.
Oh, there you go. That's money right there.
Retirement. I'm gonna
there you
hold
go.
that one. And then
John Mancini probably likes it. Pirates rookies, so you can't put down the
Pirates.
Pirates.
No. Anyone, yeah. A Reds fan, so he can have the Pirates stuff. But I'm gonna do one more of these since there are only 3 cards. And
okay,
let's see here. Maybe again, apologize for any bad language if something crazy actually does happen.
Yep.
You never know. Decent centering on this one. Eric Wilkins. I don't think I've gotten a semi-star yet. Tom Hume. That's good centering. Woo. Yeah. That's miscut on the back. That's all right. Well, he's a red. That's cool. Mickey Lolich. That's good.
All right. Yeah. That one's not bad.
No.
At least left to right, I think it looks. Yeah.
217 career wins at that point in his career.
Nice.
Good pick. Yeah.
Hey, that's. I think that may have been the nicest one so far.
Yes. Yeah. The centering on the back isn't good, but that's all right. It's yeah. Again, if anyone's looking for 1980 Topps to rip, you can get these for $3 or $4 a pack, and so you should definitely do it because a wax pack now is $250 for 1980 Topps.
One wax pack.
One wax pack.
One wax.
One wax pack, $250.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's not worth it at that point. At least to me, it's not. I don't have that kind of money to throw around on a serious gamble. Like that is more than likely not going to.
Now, if I'm sorry, if I'm spending that much, it's staying unopened. It's just.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
Yes, it's unopened and it's in a slab. It's a display piece. This is a rare thing that I have that, if I open it now, I have some 1980 Topps cards. Great, that's cool, but not as cool as this. That's the one thing I don't understand about some of the breaking companies. Is the stuff they open. Just Rip It is a company, not to name names or, be harsh on anybody, but 1955 Bowman football packs, stuff where it's just like, it hurts to watch them do this, and people buy into it. You buy spots or you buy shares in the pack, and then they send them away. They get the cards graded, they sell them, and then they divide up the profits from the pack.
Oh,
so some companies do it like that, but they're few and far between now. Some of these packs. There as of last year, there were like the I mentioned 54 Bowman football earlier. The full size packs that I think have 7 cards in them.
Oh,
there might be maybe 15 that were graded, and I've seen like 6 of those shredded from breaking companies.
Now, so those are the ones that were penny packs. So 1 card for a penny. Did you get 7 cards for a nickel?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. So, hey, fork over that nickel. We'll give you 2 extra cards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so but some of the stuff is just disappearing, and even if you pull a great card, to me, it's still tragic because you've lost this survivor, if you will.
Yeah. Henry. Even as quote unquote recent as 81 Topps. And of course, again, I had that, 81 Donruss, that gum is stuck to that Ozzie Smith. It's now, fortunately, none of the other cards in these packs were damaged, but the 2 that had the gum, the 81 Flair and 81 Donruss, that gum is not coming off. And if it did, it would have done so much to the surface that even if the card other than that would have been perfect, would have still knocked it down a ton because of the surface. So, unfortunately, it looked like that 81 Topps there probably, what do you think, Brandon? Probably got exposed to heat, which caused not just the top card, but some of the couple cards underneath.
It's really about how things are stored, that, and potentially it's about how old the pack is too. But with 81 Topps, that's recent enough, quote unquote, that's probably it was in a warehouse or something, and it just wasn't. It was it was exposed to the elements a little bit. But you can have a pack that you keep well, you keep it cool, you keep it in a dark place, and you could still open it and weird stuff happens, especially with some of the early O-Pee-Chee stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 cards just stuck together, just ruined in a pack of 6 cards.
Yep.
You're just like, why did I even do this?
It can also happen to modern cards. You have that glossy, and if it gets exposed to heat or something like that, you could open up a pack and it's bricked.
Yeah.
That it's like, and unfortunately, I had some common cards that were sort of stuffed really tightly at the time. I didn't think anything of it, but when you have them, even in controlled, if you stuff the cards, even if it's in a normal environment and you leave it there for 15 years, you're going to get some bricking. Just, so.
There's some, a lot of the Stadium Club products, some of the Fleer Ultra product from the early 90s. Yeah. It's just not the entire.
Don, I'm not sure if that. Again, maybe. I think there's always little tips and tricks, and I don't think you want to do anything with heat, but maybe the cold will separate or make it loose. I don't know. So I'm not sure if I'm going to stick that Ozzie Smith in the freezer, see what happens. Who knows? But
that'd be an interesting video for your channel. You could do that.
There we go. Yeah.
An 81 Donruss in the freezer. You could do that, but then you're still left with the stain on the front, which some people say, you take like some pantyhose or something, and everybody has
honestly, for that 81 Donruss,
it's not worth it.
It's not worth the time and effort, because even if I pretty it up, it's still not. It's still centered left to right. 80, 20, 75. I mean, it's at best it's a 7 if I'm lucky.
Sure.
It would cost more to grade than that's where yeah, but it's a neat conversation piece. Hey, look at this gum card. But yeah.
No, that would be a good card to actually, you could try the freezer method on. I would try it on a card like that before.
I would try. I may try it on this 81 Flair.
That's perfect. Yeah, there you go.
And then that's, you know, see what happens there. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody has a method, but you know, it's a gum stain card. It is what it is. You know, it's
all right.
I'm gonna open this last 80 to see what because this is gonna drive me crazy now that I've started. I've had these sitting for a while since I got them, and I'm like, you know what? I don't need to open this stuff. And then I opened one, and now I'm like, okay, I see why this is addictive. There we go. Nope. Let's see what we have here. Rick Auerbach.
All right.
To go with our discussion of what we were talking about. Oh, there's a Hall of Famer on here. 1980 Tigers team cards. Sparky Anderson.
Here you go.
Right there in the corner.
So Camden, for those that collect Hall of Fame players / managers, that would be a card that if they want in PSA or something like that, they would go after, because as a small little picture of Sparky Anderson. Yeah.
And Rusty Torres. This one actually has has scratches on the surface.
Huh.
That's weird. Well, got a Sparky Anderson.
They're maybe, are they? Well, they have to be repackaged. So
yeah.
So it's just they buy a whole lot of 1980 tops, take 3, put it, wrap it, and they take 3 and put it in.
Yeah, and I guess it just happened. And there's also 1980 tops Kmart 3-card packs.
Oh,
but those are much harder to find and a little bit pricier. They're still not too bad because it's 3 cards. 2 of them are not showing. So what are the odds one of those happens to be a Henderson rookie?
Yeah.
Not that great, but it's a fun rip. So if anybody's looking for a cheap way to actually open some true vintage, that might be a good way to go. Let's see, let me here. Do one more of these too while we're at it. Okay. See if I can actually pull a Griffey. The price on this has actually gone up. It's since corrected, but 1989 Donruss, there was a point, I think it was $75 a box from a sealed case. 1989 Donruss.
Wow.
Just crazy. Craig Biggio rookie.
All right, there you go.
On top
there you go. Hey, and that's centered pretty well.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
All right, I think that may be the biggest hit. Hall of Fame rookie card, well centered.
I always forget he was a catcher. I always think of him as a middle infielder.
Yeah. He only played a couple years as catcher, and then he did become what? Yeah,
shortstop, second base, like a combo, like right? Norm Charlton.
Okay. Yep.
Shane Mack. He was teammates with Tony Gwynn, so he had that going for him, but I don't know who. Yeah. Chris Speyer. I was alive when these guys played, but Tom Prince.
All right.
Some of these might be good for through the mail.
Yeah.
Sending Mark
Lemke.
He was a good ball player.
Yep.
Rolando Rumez.
Oh, yeah.
Barry Lyons.
Okay.
Darnell Coles. I wonder how many of these. Pat Borders, I remember him.
Yep. Yeah.
Steve Lombardozzi.
Okay.
And a Vince Coleman Diamond King on the back. He was a good base dealer.
Yeah. I want to say he's top 5 or 6.
Yeah, he's up there.
Yep.
He's 85 tops, if I'm not mistaken.
Vince Coleman.
85 traded. Might be
85 traded and then 86, depending on when you feel the traded.
That's a whole other debate too. Do you even consider the traded to be a rookie card? Like what constitutes actually a rookie card? When you think about it.
I would call it the first the I don't want to say mass produced, but readily available pixel. I think back then you had to buy the set. So you couldn't get the cards out of packs. I guess that's where I'm going with. So for me, it's the first pack pulled base card. It's but then again you could say, okay, well, yeah, but this card was produced by Topps the year before. You could find the other version in the regular. So like Jose Canseco didn't have an 86 Topps regular that you could pull from a pack. You could pull it from 87.
Sure.
But a lot of people consider his 86 as rookie.
Yeah. Well, then there's this other distinction. I've seen XRC.
Yeah.
I don't know what that even refers to.
X is, I think it's like for extended rookie card or something like that, meaning it was part of a traded or update set.
Okay. Okay.
And it's...
Well, then maybe we can just stick with that classification then, because to me, that's better than, I agree with you. The first pack pull, if you can't pull it out of a pack, that's not a rookie card to me. That's this is an extension of the set. It's not with the traded, I don't know. But
yeah,
because there's an 84 Topps Gooden. I don't know anybody who thinks 84 Topps traded as Gooden's rookie card or 84 Fleer update. They're like, this is a pre-rookie Gooden, is kind of how it's treated.
But man, that 84 Flair update Clemens or Puckett, they go for big money because a lot of people look at that as, again, maybe not a true rookie, but their first card. And again, it may not be a rookie card, but and I remember I kicked myself. I remember back then. I remember in 84, I was buying complete sets and then buying the traded sets. And I know 84 Donruss, the factory set came out, and I remember the local card shop, the guy who's still there, told me, he's like, hey, this 84 Donruss, I heard the production isn't as much and stuff. They're cutting back from 83 but at the time it was like 40 or 50 bucks when I could buy Topps for 25, and I passed. I'm like, no. And then when 84 Flair update, he's like, well, the updates here, this was the first one by Flair. And Topps had come out since 81, I think, with their update or whatever. And I had been buying those. And so, I kicked myself for not getting an 84 Donruss factory set and an 84 Flair update, because I was told, John, that maybe good for you to get. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. And then the 84 Donruss manually took off. I'm like, God, great. Okay. And back then I was 12, 13. So when the manually rookie became, $50 or something, and the set was going for $7,500, I'm like, I can't afford that. I lost out. And
I
kicked myself.
Well, some of the stuff with unopened, the recent surge in the last year, some of the stuff that I passed on at the 2018 National and at the 2019 National, things I had in hand that I was looking at and I had the money for. I'll give you an example that really, really is upsetting now. 1980 Topps basketball packs have just gone just bonkers. Okay. This guy had 2 packs and he wanted $200 a piece. They were PSA graded near mint to mint 8. Nice packs. And I was like, this is a pretty fair price. Even then that was fair. I said, would you take $350 for the pair? I think is what I told him. And he said, sure. And I said, okay. And I thought about it and I walked away. Those are both $1,500 packs now.
Now, is that the Bird Magic rookie? Is that the 80-81? Yeah.
The Bird Magic. And then even 81, because now that's Bird's first solo card, Magic's first solo card. Those have gone bonkers. Those were $20 a pack, $25 a pack. Those are $150 a pack now, $200 a pack now.
Wow.
And so it's easy to get priced out. And that's what's problematic. The time to buy is now, but it's also not the time to buy because prices are high. but they're only going to get higher. So you're just caught in this.
Again,
You know,
yeah, the old adage, and it's been good over the last, say 10 years, where prices, especially
sure.
like for vintage, gradually, would rise over time and stuff, nothing incredible. And the old adage is, well, what is it? Today's prices are tomorrow's bargains, or something like that. But it becomes more of a risk when you're in a bubble.
Yeah.
Because you never know that it may not be a tomorrow's bargain. It may be tomorrow's overpay.
Yeah.
If you're too late, getting in and keep thinking, well, today's prices are tomorrow's bargains. Today's prices are tomorrow's bargain. I'm going to keep it at some point, and people respect. Who, next year, 5 years, 10 years from now, who knows, and all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. No, well, I think
it's that mentality that keeps it going, because
that's true. Yeah.
everyone's like, okay, well, no, I don't think the bubble's here yet. Okay, I can buy, and then the bubble's not going to here yet. I'll still buy, and it continues the bubble.
Yeah, sure. No, I think you're right, and I do think there's a bigger risk of overpaying for modern stuff. If you look at some of the crazes that happened, like when Aaron Judge first emerged on the scene and he was hitting home runs left and right, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, he's the next Mickey Mantle." For starters, no, he's not. But that's okay. So you're paying $500 for an Aaron Judge autograph jersey card. Okay, now that's worth $150. It's still cool. You have an Aaron Judge, but you just put all these resources into this speculative, process, rather than vintage is much more proven, at least over time, with ebbs and flows, of course, corrections and.
Because vintage players can't get traded to a lower market team. They can't get injured. They can't throw their arm out and need Tommy John surgery. Vintage players are vintage players. They it's. There's not much that can touch them other than maybe passing away. And then if anything, you see their cards go up. So there's not much to vintage cards that would cause, unless, again, it's a mass disinterested in vintage cards. There's not really many market forces to push down cards, unless something gets super crazy high, that the market just says, okay, it went too high. It's more down here. And then that's why vintage is more stable. But then again, if you're looking to make money off of baseball cards, it may not be, you want the modern, because there's in volatility. If you're smart and you do your homework, you can make money.
Sure. I mean, there's, and I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong, as long as you're a collector first. Like, I've made money doing this. I've made money on unopened stuff. I sell stuff sometimes, if I get doubles of a pack or something, or if I just decide, like what I've done lately is I've consolidated a bit. I have less rack packs, but the stuff that I have
is nicer.
Is really nice. Yeah.
Quality over quantity. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that requires moving stuff too. So it's taking advantage a little bit when the market is like this. Okay, I could reinvest this in something that's even cooler. So I'm not one of these. I don't ever believe in selling. Sometimes it's okay, as long as that's not your primary focus. As long as you don't wake up every day and go, more money. Yes, I need to do this to make money. Then that's not.
I have no problem with people selling cards that maybe don't fit their collection. They can take the money and buy something that fits their collection. That's not a flipper to me. Or if someone, hey, you know what? There's some financial thing that came up that they need that money. Sell it. Absolutely, sell it. I don't see. So just the fact that someone may sell doesn't mean that they're not a true collector. Because there are situations where, again, if I really wanted to go all in on my weight bogs and go after some of the higher ones, the one of ones, and I just say I want to focus on weight bogs and that's it, nothing else. Well, I have all these vintage cards. I'd say, again, if that was my focus, I'd sell all my vintage cards, or vice versa. If I want to say,
Yeah.
you know what, I want to go in all in vintage, that's my focus now. Wade Boggs, I still love you, but I want to go vintage.
Hmm.
Then I could see myself selling Wade Boggs. I'm
Sure.
not. I'm a hoarder.
Sure.
But that, again, so I'm on the, in terms of like
Sure.
the political spectrum of card collecting.
Sure.
I'm way over there in concern. You can barely see me with binoculars. I'm a hoarder. I hate getting. No, I'll give some of my cards away in contests and different things or care packages. That's me given to the community, and I know they're going to have a good home. Okay, that's it. But
Yeah.
I just hate getting rid of cards in my collection.
Sure.
But at the same time, I don't see anything wrong with other people doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Hey, that's what they need to do or want to do. No problem.
Well, and even the dreaded the flippers who we all hate who have drained the retail stores, right? If there wasn't a market for it, they wouldn't be doing it. People are willing to pay more. Yep. They have filled a need in the market. I don't see the problem. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Don't buy from them. That's just my view on it. Some people get, they're very upset with flippers because the product is drained, and I understand that. But at the same time, you have to understand that some people do try to, make money doing this. And some people have different motivations than people like you or I do. Not everybody goes into this with.
When I think it was in the local card shop, the guy there was telling me, we were talking about different things, and I think he was the one that told me this. He said he heard that, or he knew of someone who quit his job and was doing baseball cards. That was his. That was his thing. He was quitting his job and going in. Now I don't know if it was. I'm assuming it's like on eBay and an eBay store and stuff. And if you again, it's not easy money. You have to do your homework. You have to buy right or in bulk or whatever. And you have to sell right. I mean, that's at that point you're in a business of you buy at a certain price, so you have cost in, you have your markup, you have your shipping costs, and then this is what you have to sell it for. And when prices are going up, that's great. Hey, more power to them. If you can do that, I'd love to be able to earn a living.
Oh yeah.
With baseball cards. I would just love it.
Yeah.
But I'm one that needs that, twice a month. Yep. That amount's going in my bank. That's okay. I'm safe. I can pay my bills. I have a little bit of money for cards and stuff. That's what always scared me. I don't have that entrepreneurial spirit of, hey, let's take this gamble and risk and don't worry, we'll be okay. I'm very conservative and stuff, but more power to. I wish that person all the best of luck, because and I think a lot of us would be like, man, I wish we could do that. That'd be awesome.
Well, and it's a hustle to do that. If you think about how many stores you have to go to, how frequent, like in this week, these products are coming out. I have to be at the store at this time, at this store at this time. Like, it's a lot of work.
Well, it may not be, and it may not be just finding retail and flipping that, but it's finding collections, buying lots,
sure.
Buying it for the right price and separating it, maybe getting some great card or whatever, waiting the time. So if you're thinking, hey, I can buy some nice raw cards, get them graded, and get 3 times my money, that's great. And maybe there's some cards you can do that. If you're a pretty good grader, if you have a pretty good eye of knowing, hey, this could maybe only be an 8, or this may have a chance of being a 10 or whatever. But the problem is you're out all this money while it's sitting at PSA for 8, 10, 12 months. Yeah. So now you have all that capital tied up with the hopes of tripling your money, but until it comes back to you. And that I think is hitting some of the flippers hard, and why they're maybe going with these newer grading companies. Back to our initial discussion we had 20 minutes into the video.
Sure. Well, and by the time you get the card back from PSA, the market could have already corrected itself. It's the wait times and pack grading is the same thing. It is. There are people. 15 months later, I got my 3 wax packs back. It's like I'm so disillusioned with. All I do is buy PSA cards, unless some cards look really good in the SGC holder. I really like some of the old Judge cards, some of the really old stuff that's in black and white. I love in the SGC look, but sending stuff in myself to get graded, unless it's some life-changing card that I need to sell for some financial reason. God forbid something happen, unless it's something like that,
I mean,
I'll just buy it.
I have some like was a 2013 Topps Update Mookie Betts rookie that could probably grade at least a 9, maybe has an outside chance at a 10. I have a Jacob deGrom rookie, and I have the gold version of his rookie.
Cool.
And in really nice center, well centered and stuff like that. I mean, I have them in top loaders now and stuff. Yeah. Could I send them in? And if I get 9s or 10s, I could be sitting on a card. I think the DeGrom gold in a 10 is like over $600. But I'm not looking to sell it. So I don't have now. The only thing, and with PSAs changing now, I'm trying to hold back, and the increase in prices, they stopped their crossover service, or they paused it. So, because that was if anything, it was and again, it's just a visual thing for me. It's not for selling. It's I'm doing these PSA vintage Hall of Famers now, and I have a group in BVG holders, and it's it's not OCD, and I don't want to claim it's otherwise, because there are people that truly suffer from OCD. But to me, I have all these PSAs, and these in a different. They're not the same. I need them. I want them to be the same. Sure. But I know that I could be out $500, $600, $700, $800 just to get them reslabbed through PSA.
Sure.
And I'm like, that's just money out the door, because I'm not looking to sell and recoup my money. Yeah. So on the one hand, I really want to convert them. On the other hand, do I want to spend that much money to do it? I'm like, so maybe one card here, one card there. Get in with some people I knew that do submissions, and every couple months send another one in, get charged $75 or whatever it may be, and do that. So,
well, one thing I try to do, at least I do this whenever there's an actual card show. Remember the days of card shows? Those were good times.
There's one tomorrow. There's one tomorrow at my local mall. I'm actually going to it. I heard there's maybe 50 tables.
That's so cool.
Yeah, just to look, I'm like, a card show.
That's so cool. Yeah, I went to one last Father's Day. I went to one in Atlanta. I think that's the last one I've been to. But I make it a point. Okay, do I like the card? Is this version of this card something I want in my collection?
Yep.
And if the answer is yes, if it's not a PSA holder, I have I'm like, all right. But I focus on the card. And there have been times where I've done that, and I'm just like, okay, don't think about this too much. Don't, because I'm not going to send it into PSA. I know I'm not going to. So why obsess about it? Just look at the card, enjoy the card, and move on.
Okay. Yeah. You bring up looking at the card and enjoying the card.
Yeah.
Now, I've been getting these. Was it I want to get the name right here so I can plug them. The Superior Fit Innovations, the sleeves for the holder.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Now, the Beckett holders are a little bit thicker. They also put the card in a little bit of a sleeve, and then when you put those on to protect it, when I'm looking at a card, a PSA card, even in those sleeves, versus a BVG. I can't enjoy the card as much. When I look at it, you see all the plastic, and you see the card underneath, and you go, that's a cool card. But to me, and a lot of people complain that they don't like the thinness of the PSA. Some of them like the thickness of the BVG. To me, the thinness of PSA, if you get a nice clean case, you can see the details. You shine up to the light, you can see the surface marks. If there's some bubbles on the surface of the card, you can I can enjoy it better. I take out those BVG cards and look at them, and I go, they're cool, but the visually those holders take something away from it. So that's another reason why I at some point I'd like to switch over. But yeah, hey Don, don't want to forget you there. I've heard that ComC, and I've seen some cards like Boggs cards or whatever on that ComC has put on eBay for buy it now, and I shy away from, because I know if you order stuff off their website, it's been taking a long time, and I'm assuming that their auctions are as well. I know the pandemic hit them, but I think their turnaround times at ComC. So I've sort of been holding off on doing anything with them. Maybe not totally, maybe not forever. If they turn things around and I find some cards on their website that I want to get, I'll do so. But yeah, I've heard, especially last year, some horror stories in waiting to get your order in. So.
And even from the eBay store too, there have been stories where you purchase from them on eBay and it just takes forever. So it's not just that they're, I guess, their website, but they're, their affiliates or whatever. The one question I wanted to ask you, because this is something that drives me crazy: scratches on slabs, or when there's like when the slab is dinged up in some way.
Yeah.
I don't even care if the card is like, this is the card I've been looking for. I'll sell it. If I get it, and I'll get it from eBay, and I didn't see all these scratches in the image. There's scratches all over the slab. Get it out of my face. Like, it's gone.
I've passed on watching putting cards on my watch list. If it could be a PSA 7 or 8 or whatever I'm looking for. Hey, it's a nicely centered card, whatever.
Yeah.
If I see major scratches on the case, and I know you're buying the card, you're not buying the case, but in some cases you're buying the case, the presentation, the visual, it's enslabbed, it's encased in that holder.
Yeah, yeah.
You get major scratches or things on that holder, it impacts the visual appeal to me.
Yes.
And then I'm not going to break it out of the case because that defeats the whole purpose.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll turn down watching after, putting cards on my watch list if I see. Now, if it's minor, if it's up near the label or like, and now I've had ones where I've gotten to have some scratches, and I've sort of been able to rub most of them out, and the ones I don't really take away from the card. Yeah, it's over here in that corner or whatever. That's fine. I'm not looking for perfect, but I've seen some really bad ones.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially if it's even some of the new slabs, you can tell if it's someone. I guess if they have like a big bulk order and there's just a lot of moving around or something. A brand new slab and it's got that on the front, like right on the middle of the card. It's like, oh, and I love this card, but I just can't do it. If I see it on eBay, it just drives me bananas. That's the one. That's worse than I'll take an SGC card or whatever if I love the card, but
5 weeks to ship. 5 weeks to ship. That's bad.
How do they have positive feedback? Like they've got to be getting.
I'm sure they're getting hit with, and again, maybe they disclose it in listing. I don't know, but 5 weeks to ship. Now I bought, and I said it on a video, and I do want to give them kudos. So it was just an internal mistake. It wasn't 4 sharp corners. I put an order and it wasn't shipping, and I had bought from them before. And I finally called them up, and it was one of those things where it just got misplaced. They had the cards, one number wasn't sent to the next group to tie it in to mail it out. They sent it priority, which they would normally so they I think they paid a little bit extra. It got to me in like 2 days, great condition, all that stuff. So I give them kudos, but that's just like a one-time thing. And it sounds like with them, like 5 weeks to ship. I mean, that's almost like buying a card from Taiwan. And I've done that before. Is you Taiwan or Korea? I one of the two. I have bought some box cards, and yeah, in fact, I'll get something in the mail and go, oh shoot, I forgot I bought that because that was 6 weeks ago.
Sure.
I can see overseas, yes.
Sure.
But where ComC is located, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and even now, the delays, Steve Hart of Baseball Exchange, he had to put a semi-pause on authentication. He essentially had to put a stop on junk wax because of the surge in the demand and the prices for junk wax stuff. 89 Fleer, basketball and baseball, and 1990 Fleer, and this type of stuff. He had to put basically any box that's less than $300, that's worth less than $300. No.
Wow.
Not going to happen. And so they've stopped that, put a semi-pause on authentication. And it's even now he's saying to get rack packs back sometimes, depending on where it is in the pile, could be 4 to 6 months. And this guy is quick. Like I've sent to him and 4 days later gotten emails. He sends you an email and says, hey, your packs are all good. Here's your total. Answers the phone himself. Like he's very hands-on and very expedient. And he's saying now could be 4 months before you see your packs. Yeah. So
well, as long as he's up front, disclose and stuff. But hey, Don, with your comment there, mine wasn't an issue of being double sold. Now I do know that for Four Shop Corners, they have their own website and they have buy it nows. And I think occasionally they list those same cards on eBay again for buy it now. The 4 that I had were all auctions. So those weren't ones, and I think it was a set break. So they must have acquired a PSA set or whatever like that and put them up for auction. I don't know if they were a consigner, but I don't believe they were on their website as well. So your issue may have been that someone bought it off the website. They didn't take it off of eBay in time before you bought it. So I'm thinking maybe that, and that's always the risk you run if you're doing it in two platforms. As soon as it sells, that thing better get off that other platform, or you could run into a problem there. So, all right, I'm itching for a Ripken.
Oh, cool.
82,
okay.
82 Donruss. I want a Ripken here. So that's 82 Donruss. That's basically it, right? I mean, for the most part, the Ripken.
Lee Smith, which is, I mean, it's a cool card.
Lee Smith.
Yeah, Ripken's the big one.
Yeah. All right. So let's see here. Again, I want to try to save these as much as possible. Okay, that's getting there. I should have mentioned this 5 minutes ago, and then after I get it, then I'd be ready to show the cards here. Okay, come on. There we go. Again, I just want to get it open enough to. Okay. Now this one, obviously, I don't have to worry about any gum stains because it has the puzzle. Come on, just let me get one of the sides open here. Then I can take the cards. Now, did you say 82 Donruss also has some pretty bad centering issues?
There can be. It's the pack is either probably going to be it's going to be hit or miss. You're either going to have a very nice clean pack, or it's going to be a lot of OC.
Here's the Babe Ruth.
Oh, that's cool.
Puzzle piece. Yeah, that's the nice big piece there. Okay, let's go. Let's go here. Steve Crawford.
Okay.
And I wish I had set the camera to like autofocus, but Roger Erickson. These look like pretty well centered so far. Okay. Hit or miss. Mario Soto.
That's a nice one.
John Martin. I got a checklist. I wonder if this is Cal Ripken. I'm trying to think what number he is. I just looking very quickly here. I don't think. I mean, I could say I pulled a Ripken on the check, but I don't think I even did that. But we have a Hall of Famer. Not too bad. Fergie Jenkins.
Oh, cool.
And not a Hall of Famer, but I think a fairly good player. In fact, I may have a beat up version of his, would have been 64 tops. Veda Pinson. Whoops.
That's cool.
Yeah, so he had 19. Well, no, 19. He played from 1958 to 75. So this is a. Why did he have an 82? Oh, it's a coach card. That's why. Okay, I was like, wait a minute, what?
Well, it's weird because he's holding a bat, isn't he?
Yeah, he's holding a bat, but I guess he's maybe the hitting coach or something like that. But
okay.
All right. Well, we got Manny Trio. Remember him? I remember him from the Phillies. Kevin Saucer. Mike Scioscia.
Where is he managing now? Is he managing still?
Oh, Mike Scioscia. Is he the Angel? No.
Oh, the Angels. It's now a Joe Madden is the Angels.
Yeah, where did he go?
I thought someone picked him up, not the Giants. I wonder where he went, but I think he's still around. He's a baseball guy. I think he'll be around forever.
Here's a Hall of Famer, and I think it's no, it's off center, definitely top to bottom. Tom Seaver, I'm terrific. Look at that top to bottom.
That's a cool card though.
And even on the back, it's
wow, yeah, that's almost missing.
But hey, it's a Tom Seaver.
Yeah, that's cool.
Ken Landreau. I'm getting toward the end here.
Where do you stand on the
Ronnie Stinnett?
Oh yeah, Ronnie Stinnett. He went 7 for 7 in a game in 1974. 3 singles, 2 doubles, and 2 triples. I think I want to say.
Here we go. Set a modern. It's actually on the back of this card.
Oh, okay.
Set a modern NL record September 6th, 1975.
Okay.
When he went 7 for 7 versus Cubs, then added 5 more hits in the next 2 games. Wow. Cool. All right. And no Ripken here. We got this one's not too bad in terms of center, but it's a Glenn Abbott.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's nicely centered, yeah.
And then David Engel of the Twins. But hey, again, it's really I got an off. Let's see, I got an off-center Tom Seaver. I got so that's one Hall of Famer. I got a Fergie Jenkins off-center Hall of Famer. Yeah. Again, that one cost me. That one maybe cost me $5 or $6.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I opened one of the only like truly vintage boxes I've actually opened. I opened a box of 82 Donruss. I got it for Christmas about 3 years ago. I got one Ripken and it was like 90-10 centering. I got one Ripken in the box. I opened a box of 82 Donruss and it was 90-10 or 85-15 centering. I was like, I should have just kept this sealed. That's the last one of those.
Welcome back, Eric. Yeah, first it would be applying for retirement. Yes. Yep. And then I guess Don, there's a 76 card commemorating that feat there. So yeah, that's cool. Okay. Last year coaching Sosha was 2018. So I guess he's out.
Oh, he's out. Okay. So, interesting. Yeah. I would have thought Sosha.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. All right. I'm gonna wrap it up here with 83 Donruss. Last one. Now this one is I was talking to you before we started here, but for those that are looking at this pack, it doesn't look like your normal 83 Donruss because this was these were what I say the prize packs. They were sort of bundled in party bags or something like that, where they throw 20-30 packs in a large bag for parties, giveaways and stuff like that, and they had slightly different wrappers to them. So all right, so let's see here. So this one I'm obviously looking for, of course, the Boggs rookie, but I also don't have I don't have a Sandberg or I don't have a Gwynn. So let's see here. That would be really cool if I pull a Boggs rookie. But, okay. I got a Hall of Famer on the bottom. And I don't think there's much wax stain, so that's not bad. We'll see what the condition is. So far on the back, the condition looks pretty good. We're going to start it off with, front's not too bad. Gary Carter.
Cool. That's I picked up with him on top. I told you about. Yeah, that's a cool card. That's a cool image.
And I'm trying to think who can't quite tell who the puzzle piece for that year is. Is that I'm not sure.
Can't even remember.
Rates. It doesn't say. I forget who it was. Okay. No, wait a minute. So on the bottom was Gary Carter. On the top, Paul Molitor.
Wow, that if you could have pressed that pack and seen both of those, that would have been a heck of a pack to keep. But there's no,
Yeah.
it's hard. Like
Yeah,
that's cool.
you can't see.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that the
All
color
right.
that they did is not, that's awesome.
So left to right off to Gene Garber. Not bad. We got Davey. Oh, and again, another Hall of Famer coming up here, but Davey Lopes.
Good base dealer.
This 83 Donruss, again, they're a little off center and stuff, but this next one, ooh, talk about your diamond cut of centering. Raleigh fingers. Check that out. On that side right there.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's nasty. But it's a Hall of Famer. I got 3 Hall of Famers in this pack. Joe, oh my gosh. Okay, Joe Youngblood. Oh man, come on, there we go. I got another Hall of Famer. Again, off center, Fergie Jenkins. Wow, look at that centering. Ooh,
got a loaded pack.
Yeah, Ken Forsch. That was not too bad.
No.
Dwight Bernard. That's getting better. Not too. Jim Barr. I don't think I heard of him. Candy Maldonado. I remember that. Candy Maldonado. It's hard to see his name there.
That one's dead center, isn't it? That looks pretty nice.
That one, yeah, that one actually that one does. That one looks really nice. PSA even on the back. That one. Yep. Oh yeah, there we go. That's a 10, baby. That's a 10. Bruce Bochy.
Oh, that's cool. I've never seen that card.
That was good too.
Yeah.
Oh, slightly off. Storm Davis. Nope, I don't think I'm going to luck out here. Mike Ivy. No, I didn't hit. But I got some Hall of Famers, and then Scott Holman.
Okay.
Hey, all in all, I got some decent Hall of Famers here. A lot of off centering, which is very typical for these early '80s Fleer and Donruss. That was fun. I got some Hall of Famers.
Yeah, well, I mean, 4 in a pack out of 15 cards, right? Because
I got the Fergie Jenkins. I got the Raleigh Fingers, Paul Molitor, and Gary Carter. And that
Molitor looks pretty sharp.
That Paul Molitor looks sharp.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah. That's a
nice one. And the corners look nice too. Oh yeah. That's going to PSA, baby, right there.
I met him when I was a kid at the Twins spring train in my hometown, Fort Myers, Florida. I was probably 9 or 10, and he was just a sweetheart. Ever since then, I've been a Paul Molitor fan. He was just a super nice guy. Shook my hand, signed my, one of those experiences you remember. Him and Brooks Robinson. I met Brooks Robinson in an Old Timers game, and he was just a sweetheart.
Did you? Oh, look at that pack. Do you see? It has a hole. It has a hole from the corner.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Well, okay, I probably won't say that one, but anyway, I don't know if you saw my video on when I showed off my autographed baseballs.
No, I don't think I did.
I pulled a collector no, and I was maybe in college, maybe high school, and my mom had heard that Brooks Robinson was going to be up at the other mall, not the one where the card show is tomorrow, but another local mall. Hey, Brooks Robinson is going to be up at the mall, and I think for $5 or $10 signing autographs. It was like that day only, and I only had, it was still only 3 hours until he was going to be gone. So I was racing around I didn't have any blank balls, and I didn't have anything else really to sign. So I'm like, okay, well, all right, well, here's a ball that has a Hall of Famer on it. I'll just take that up, and I'll have 2 Hall of Famers on one ball. Hey, that'd be cool. So I go up and I get in line. Hey, Mr. Robinson, yeah, nice to meet you and stuff like that. And he looked at the ball and he goes, "You sure you want me to sign this?" I'm like, "Yeah, it'd be great." He goes, "Okay." So not only do you sign it, he put to John Brooks Robinson. No, okay, that's fine. Guess who the other player was on the ball?
Mickey Mantle?
Yeah, Mickey Mantle.
I was just again
on the ball.
Oh man.
Yeah, Mickey Mantle on the sweet spot. Smart move, John. Smart. I'm not looking to sell. I'm not. Yeah, I mean, you may not be able to see it very well, but yeah. And there's some yellowing to the ball too, and all that stuff. Let's see if I can get it out here. Yeah, just let's see if I can get it out here, and then So here is the Mickey Mantle, and I got this from my local card shop.
Okay, wow.
Mickey Mantle on the sweet spot, and then to John, my best, Brooks Robinson.
Oh man, we live and learn. I mean,
we live and learn. It's two Hall of Famers, two. No, I was going to say the wrong Robinson. I was going to say if it was Frank Robinson, I would have 2 Triple Crown, but it was Brooks Robinson. But
that's cool.
Who signed that? But
I mean, when I first started collecting autographs at games, I took a baseball and I used a black Sharpie, which is a total no-no. And I was just there with my black Sharpie, and now all the autographs that I have are yellowed and dried out. And, I was a 13, 12-year-old kid who didn't, I didn't know any better. So sometimes, we live and learn.
It's personalized. So that takes away. And I guess, if it was Mickey Mantle and Yogi Berra, if it was Mickey Mantle and even Don Mattingly, if it was 2 Yankees, you could say, hey, I'm a Yankee collector. Wow, 2 great Yankee players, whatever. But it's a Yankee and an Oriole. Yeah, they're 2 Hall of Famers, but I took what would probably now be a $600 or $800 ball, and it's $200.
Sure.
I'm not looking to sell. I'm not looking to get the $200 out of it. I'm not. That will stay with my collection. My son will get it, whatever. And but
no.
Well, it's a neat story. That on eBay. Good luck listing it. So.
Well, if I ever see a Mickey Mantle to John Brooks Robinson dual sign baseball on eBay, I'll know exactly.
Yes. Oh, John's down on his lucky.
I guess that's a one of one.
Yeah, poor John. He's down on his luck. He had to sell that Mantle ball.
We've all some of the stuff when I was younger, just boneheaded stuff. I had a 1970 Topps wax pack from my grandfather, from his collection. I was like 15. I was like, this is so cool. I'll just open this. Yeah. I opened it, and it was absolutely unopened. The cards were cherry, other than the gum card. Oh, it's a $1,500 pack now.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that. Heck, I mean, even beyond cards. My mom used to attend art craft shows. She would make handmade teddy bears, and a lot of them had like antique. So it'd be arts and crafts and then antiques.
Sure.
And she didn't really walk around and like, oh yeah, I had those as a kid, and either dishes, you name it. It's like it was worthless. Now they want what for it? And I mean, any type of collectible, you can go back and say, oh my God, why did I throw that away? Or why did I open this? Or why didn't I keep it in the original package? And look what it's worth now.
There's nothing. It's hindsight. There's absolutely nothing you can do.
It's hindsight. I look at that and I say, I have 2 Hall of Famers on a ball.
Yeah.
The value of it doesn't matter to me because I'm not selling it. So right now it's $0. It's worth $0 until someone pays me something for it. So I have a full autographed ball. I got the Brooks Robinson in person, but it's not PSA. I saw him sign it for me. It's to me. All right. I was going to take a Brooks Robinson and have it, personalized. You don't do that.
Did you have him? Did you ask him to, or did he just do it?
I know it's 30 years ago.
Sure. No, I was just curious.
Oh no, it you know what? I just turned 49. It could have been 30 years ago. I don't know. Again, am I naive and just I may have just said, "Oh yeah," or he may have say, "What's your name, John?" I'm like, "You doing all my best." I'm like, "Hey, thank you."
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's a memory, and there's a
Yes,
story.
exactly. It's a memory. It's not just one I picked up off of eBay with a nice PSA hologram authentication to it, and hey, it's part of my collection.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
and,
even the
I
mantle.
trust. I
Mhm.
trust that the mantle is legit because I bought it from my local card shop, and
Sure.
the balls that he at the time. Now, he doesn't sell too many autographed balls now. I'm not sure where he gets them, but at the time, he would go to the Philly show and the big shows, and he'd get them signed in person and bring them back to the shop to sell. So
Hmm.
the balls that he had for sale that were autographed, and I got a
Mhm.
lot. I got a Hank Aaron, I got a Pete Rose, um, and I think all the other ones I either got in person. I think, yeah, and a Stan Musial I got from him, Stan the
Yeah.
Man. Um,
Sure.
he had all of them from in person signings. Now there's no letter of
Sure.
authentication or certification, but I'm sure they would pass PSA. So I wasn't worried. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But, this is kind of a big question, and we might get some maybe not heated comments, but should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame?
yes,
I agree.
I'll
I
say.
agree. I'm very biased. Mr.
Was
Reds
that
fan, very
quick
biased.
enough, or was that?
Oh no, that's fine. No. That's better than some people. Well, I don't know because Joe Jackson
There-
and
and I also think Shoeless Joe Jackson should be in. There are if you
yeah.
it's not what do I want to listen to? It's not sainthood. The Hall of Fame
Yeah.
isn't sainthood. There are players in there that either on the field, off the field, weren't maybe the best people.
Yeah.
Now you could say there's cheating. Okay, now did Pete Rose? You could say, well, Pete Rose is in the same bracket as like Barry Bonds because people
Mhm.
think there's sort of proof, maybe proof. I don't know about proof, whatever. That Barry Bonds, his quote unquote cheating
Mhm.
was possibly enhancing himself to hit all the home runs. Again, if those allegations are true and blah blah blah, I don't want to fall into that.
Sure.
That's
Sure.
one
Sure.
level where you look at your numbers and
Mhm.
say was part of that due to cheating. None of Pete Rose's 4,200 and was it 54, 56 hits.
Yeah. Yeah.
His gambling had nothing to do with those hits, nothing to do with the 3 batting titles, nothing to do with the 3 World Series that he was involved
Yeah.
in, nothing to do with all his accomplishments as a player. He was a
Yeah.
manager and bet for or against his team or whatever, and you could say, but his accomplishments as a player,
Yeah. Yes.
he
Don't
didn't
let him in
cheat
as
his way to any of
don't let
those
him in
stats.
as a manager. Yeah, don't let him in as a manager or have it on
Yeah,
his plaque that he bet on baseball when he was a manager or something
yeah.
like that. But he
Ty
should be in.
Cobb,
I absolutely.
yeah, Ty Cobb. Now again,
Mhm.
there's books and stories that exaggerate, maybe tell lies. I've heard that there's some
Mhm.
biographies of him that tell a truer picture or whatever. But
Mhm.
there are other Hall of Famers that had temper, that were drunk.
Yep.
Was it Grover Alexander? I think
Mhm.
he had a
Died from
drinking
it.
problem. And, okay,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
maybe us moral people don't think alcoholics should be in the Hall of Fame. So
Yeah.
kick him out. So I mean, there's a moral.
Yeah.
Everyone has to be a good guy.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's sufficient proof. I haven't read all the stuff in books and stuff, but even for Shoeless Joe Jackson, I think he didn't know what he was getting into. I don't think he knew when he signed, he even signed his name with an X since he didn't know, he couldn't read.
Yeah.
I think, and if you look at the stats in the World Series, I I don't
Yeah.
know. I haven't done my research. There could be some clear-cut things that
Well,
I
well,
don't
well,
know.
well, even others. Buck Weaver, who was adamant about, I did not take part in this. He hit what 400 something in the series. He's blacklisted. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame either for the same because he's part of
No,
the
he's not.
same. Yeah, and
Yeah.
ridiculous. Absolutely deserves to be in. And there are cheaters in the Hall of Fame. Gaylord Perry was putting Vaseline on the baseball when he was pitching for years.
Yeah.
There are so many cheaters in the Hall of Fame. So I mean, you're the morality police now?
Yep.
Were they a good pitcher or were they not? Was he a good hitter or was he not? Is the game better off with Bonds being a part of it or is it not?
Yeah.
And for all of the controversy, and I don't personally like Barry Bonds, but if you're going to let in, I mean, Jeff Bagwell's in, he's mentioned in the Mitchell report. David Ortiz is absolutely probably going to be a first ballot.
He's going to get in.
Yeah,
I think,
loves
what do you think? I think A-Rod, has he been on the ballot yet? A-Rod, I don't think so. Is next year his first year with Ortiz?
Yeah.
I heard people say like, he's trying to portray a good public image, and he's on the sports networks and stuff like that to people like, hey, well, just don't worry about the fact that I got suspended for a year or whatever. And Ortiz is, they're buddies on MLB baseball, and they're, let's vote for them. I don't know.
Well, I think
people like to be critical about certain things or read into things.
Well, I think A-Rod is a similar problem to Bonds. I think he just comes across kind of an ass sometimes, and not to be too crude about it, and I do think even though that shouldn't be a factor, how you act with the media and how you portray yourself in the public, David Ortiz is.
You can make a case for that. That's why Ted Williams didn't win the 1941 MVP and DiMaggio did. I mean, they both had great years. They both had outstanding years. But if there was any tipping of the scale, they loved Joe DiMaggio and Ted Williams hated the press. So like, well, hey, if he is, I'm not voting for him. That may not be a great example, but if you're mean and rude, it doesn't help your cause. Let's just put it that way. It affects the stats that you're looking at of, hey, was he a good player? All right, he may be an idiot or rude or obnoxious or whatever. It takes away from it.
Yeah. John Mangini, one of his go-tos for this is Jim Rice. The reason he thinks Jim Rice, it took so long for him to get in was because of he was just rude sometimes and crass to the media. So, it's not just Barry Bonds or A-Rod or whoever else they'll keep out, but they just need to be consistent. If you're going to let Jeff Bagwell in, it's a slippery slope,
And here's something that was brought up when Mike, Baseball Collector, was doing his YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame. And he equated why only people who do content can vote in it. And the rationale was that, he equated it to the Baseball Hall of Fame. And I agree with him. I don't think it should be up to the writers. I think it should be up to, and again, I know there's many, and maybe you only choose so many or whatever, or maybe it's the current living Hall of Fame members or something. Get the players, because the players know, because I mean, I don't know, maybe Harold Baines falls into this where the writers are this or that, but I think Harold Baines as a player and a contributor, I think, has a lot more fans and justification from players who played with him. You just see the stats and, when you get into the Hall of Fame and look at his numbers aren't good enough or whatever. But I think if you ask former players who played with him, I'm sure they would say he definitely belongs on the Hall. And I would feel that a player is more justified if former players vote in the Hall of Fame than writers who may have never played baseball. They just watch it, they comment on it, they report it in newspapers or whatever. They don't know what it is to play the game. They don't know what it is to be on the field. They don't know what it is to be in tough situations. Have a 18-year, 20-year career doing that. And I think the players have a better understanding of who really the great players are beyond, maybe, especially if someone has borderline stats.
Sure.
That,
No, I think you're right. I mean, if we could just change the structure of the voting where there's not only it's the Veterans Committee, but for all of the nominees, rather than just push the writers out of it. Yes, that's going to be very. I don't know if they'll ever change this. If this is just a permanent fixture of,
That's how it was set up. The writers did it.
Yeah,
and so
but a lot of the guys that are on I think George Brett is on the Veterans Committee for voting. If George Brett says the person is a Hall of Famer, I buy it.
And I think that's how Baines got in, right, through the Veterans Committee.
Yeah.
And so again, a lot of people say, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe he got in." Now it's turning into a Hall of Very Good instead of the Hall of Fame and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Maybe Harold Baines isn't the top 50 of all time players. Okay, there can only be so many top players.
Absolutely.
And at some point, there are some players that have a really good career longevity. And to be honest with you, because he had those numbers because he played 23 years. Well, that's why he got 2,900 hits, because he played that so long. Well, let me tell you, it takes something to be in the major leagues and play when you're 40, 41, 42, even 39 these days.
Absolutely.
When you're playing against 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
To say that you have enough skills to contribute to a team when you're in your late 30s, early 40s. So don't tell me that, but that's just because he played it. They didn't wheel him out on a wheelchair and say, "Hey, play third base." Welcome to your 20th year in Major League Baseball. You still have to have talent. It takes something to have a long major league career.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's not just like you just show up until you get fired and hey, I'm here. It takes something to play. I don't know how long Harold Baines played for, but it could have been only 18 years. But I think he played for a long time.
Sure,
That's how I look at it.
Well, the best example is Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan never won a Cy Young Award. His career win-loss record, yes, he has 324 career wins, but I think he has 298 career losses. He's almost a 500 pitcher if you want to base it on wins and losses. But the guy pitched 27 seasons in the major leagues and struck out 300 batters how many times? Okay, I buy it. The guy was a beast. 46 years old, I think, still pitching in the major leagues, or 45, something like that.
And I forget when. He won either an ERA or a strikeout title somewhere in the mid 90s or early 90s. It wasn't just like, okay, he coasted for the last 12 years and he was just hanging around and had an ERA. Hey, Ryan, it's time to hang it up. And it wasn't until the very, very end where he's like, okay, I think I lost a little something on my fastball finally, and I think it's time to hang up. But the players like that just don't come around every day. They don't. And I think now, not everyone who puts in 20 years, if they averaged over 20 years a 260 batting average and only 2,300 hits, they probably won't get Hall of Fame. Okay.
Sure.
But so it's a combination.
Absolutely. Yes.
I think longevity plays a part in it, even if that's how you got. Well, you didn't get your 3,000th hit until you're whatever at bat.
Well, I think the lack of longevity is why Mattingly isn't in. I think if he could have stayed healthy, he could have been first ballot or second ballot. Thurman Munson, absolutely. But then you have these cases where players die, such as the Thurman Munson case, or Lyman Bostock, who only played for a few years but was phenomenal baseball player and got murdered very tragically. Something about those players, I don't know. I do think that they need to be acknowledged in the Hall. If there's something that happens and there's someone who shines bright, and it's obvious. Sandy Koufax is in the Hall of Fame because of 5 seasons. So I don't know. I just even with the duration of careers, the Hall of Fame is inconsistent. There's all kinds of inconsistencies that emerge when you look at the voting and who's in. Alan Trammell's in. And then when he got in, I was like, okay, I don't think he should. People think Lou Whitaker should be in because he's in. Well, I don't think Alan Trammell should be in. But then Bain, there's this whole weird. I don't know.
But then again, here's the thing. Okay, so you look at Alan Trammell, and again, now I'm just playing like devil's advocate. Okay, so you look at Alan Trammell.
Sure.
And if you look at his stats, and if you maybe compare them to Don Mattingly, all right. Now, maybe because Trammell played longer than Mattingly, and maybe there isn't a comparison, but there are a lot of people that feel that Don Mattingly should have a legitimate shot. What if Don Mattingly played for the Tigers and Alan Trammell played for the Yankees? Do you think there would be people saying, I don't think Alan Trammell's deserving, or I think Don Mattingly is? I'm just, again, I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer. I'm saying I wonder how much the Yankee mystique is,
that's an interesting point.
And don't get me wrong, Don Mattingly, again, for a few number of years, was probably the best player in baseball.
Sure.
Just tremendous player. And again, it's so unfortunate that he had back problems. I mean, I always liked Don Mattingly. If Don Mattingly got elected to the Hall of Fame, I'd be like, that's cool.
Yeah, sure. Yes, I think a lot of baseball people.
Some of it has to do with he was a Yankee.
I hadn't even considered that point before, but I think you're right. Even in my personal views of it, or maybe clouded. I'm not a Yankee fan, but just
or maybe not Yankees, but maybe like a Red Sox or the Dodgers, or another one of the now Tigers. You can say, well, wait a minute, John. Tigers go back to the early 1900s as well.
Yeah.
Detroit is a smaller market. And again, nothing against the Cardinals. Cardinals have a great history. I think they won the second most World Series in franchise history. The Cardinals are close to it. But when you get New York, Boston, LA, they're dynasties, if you want to call it. Again, St. Louis may be up there as well. Tigers not so much. They haven't won as many World Series. Maybe include St. Louis as a lower tier of those four. You get players who play maybe their whole career or majority of the career with those teams. They may be looked at more favorably with their stats than someone else. And it may be just nature.
Yeah. No, Sandy Koufax is a great example. I mean, he's on a Dodgers team that is, winning World Series year after year. And yes, he's phenomenal. He's absolutely phenomenal for this 5-year stint. He's unhittable. He's the man. But it is a 5-year stint, and before that, he was not good at all. The guy was walking more batters than he was striking out, and then he found something, and then he got hurt.
Well, I think someone who was it? Someone had said on the video that either in the offseason or something like that, they just said, look, you don't need to throw 800 miles an hour. I think he was just trying to throw as hard as he could. And then I think once he tried to either take something off or try to be more, I think that's when it clicked, that his natural talent. I think he was trying to pitch past his natural talent and thought that he had to throw so hard. And I forget who told him that or whatever, said, look, don't try to throw as hard and you'll still be effective. And he tried it. And then that's when his run came. I think I heard that story from someone.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect. I think that might have been discussed even in Ken Burns' baseball. That might have been
it may have been
to some degree. But the other guy, he's not as dominant as Koufax, but there's a run there. This guy gets no love, and he's lost a lot of respect because of his personal demons. Doc Gooden in the 80s. 194 wins, 112 career losses, solid ERA, lots of strikeouts. Cy Young winner.
Didn't he throw a no-hitter for the Yankees?
Yes, he did.
It wasn't a perfect game. I think it was a no-hitter.
Yeah. I mean, he's another one where it's like the numbers. Yeah, I get that his life is an absolute mess. But again, it's not his personal life shouldn't have anything to do with this, But he's one where it's so curious to me, some of these players that just get no love at all, despite similar repertoires, or at least similar flashes.
The other thing I think that maybe hurt, whether it be Gooden or whatever, is Gooden played for the Mets, Yankees, and was there another team in between, or am I thinking Darryl Strawberry that has a stint with the Dodgers?
Darryl Strawberry had a stint with the Dodgers. Yeah.
Was Gooden only the Mets and Yankees?
I think he was also one other team. Wasn't Tampa Bay? I don't think he was Might have been
Whatever you have I think it's also harder, I think, if you have good stats, maybe not great stats, but you're more of a journalist. Now, in today's free agency, I don't think that matters as much.
Sure.
You sign a contract, or you get traded, or you sign a free agency contract, but older players where you didn't really, the free agent market wasn't as much, and you're more involved in trades. If you got traded a lot or signed with different teams, hey, my career was with 5 different teams. You have decent numbers, but okay, why was it that you played for 5 different teams? Now, maybe it was it was good, and towards the end of the season, teams traded for him to get him on their roster to make the playoff run and stuff. So you can make the case of certain pitchers that you look at and you go, yeah, that's why they were traded to bolster someone's rotation, because he was a good pitcher. So it isn't takes, but I think if you play, the more you play. So Boggs had a big run with the Red Sox. He went to another big market team with the Yankees. Now for 3 years, he was with Tampa Bay. Okay, but that was towards the end of his career. He got his 3,000th hit, all that stuff. I don't think his time at Tampa Bay hurt him at all. And again, he hit those marks for the Hall of Fame. Sure. But if he had 500 less hits, or a lower batting average or something like that, but still was a good player. And if he had spent more time in Tampa Bay, he may have been like an Alan Trammell. I mean, you had a great Boston. You went to the Yankees for a couple of years. Then you were at Tampa Bay, and they were so and stuff. Yeah, you played 18 seasons. It's like, well, okay. For Boggs, I think it helped that. Well, one, yes, he had the numbers, but he went from Boston to New York. Okay,
sure.
I mean, it's not a step down in terms of name recognition.
Oh yeah, no, you're going to another very large market.
I mean, went from Boston to you name I don't want to offend anyone of specific, but a lower market team.
Sure.
His time in Boston would have been like, yeah, he was awesome, he was great, and then he went where? Who did he play for, and what did he do? And I think the teams matter. I
think you're onto something, and it's an obvious. It's something it should be so obvious, but I'd never actually considered it. Even the Mattingly, you've kind of blew my mind with this idea, this hypothetical where Mattingly is a Tiger, just get any love for the Hall.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, Don. Astros, Indians, Rays, Mets, Yankees twice. Who are you referring to? I know we were talking about different players and playing on different. You're not talking. I don't think it was Dwight Gooden. Gooden never played for the Astros. He may have played for the Indians.
Yeah, I think he
or maybe I don't know. Did he?
Astros. That would be. That's interesting. If that's. I know towards the end he definitely moved around. Quite a bit.
I'm going to look up here.
Sure.
Dwight Gooden stats. Whoops. So let's see. Houston. He pitched for Houston in 2000.
That's crazy.
He played for one game.
Wow.
In 2000, he played 8 games for Tampa Bay, 18 games for the Yankees, and 1 game for Houston, all in 2000. Cleveland, I think I remember now, he did pitch for Cleveland, the Yankees, and Mets. He pitched for the Mets from 84 to 94.
That's interesting. He was an Astro for a game. That's real.
Yeah.
That's really bizarre. I can't even see him in that.
That is weird. Actually, he played Don, I think you missed a team. He played for Toronto, I think. No, that's total. Never mind. I'm looking at these stats and I see a TOT. I'm like, what team's TOT? It's a total for the year. Okay. Don, yep, you got it. You got it, Don. Yeah, that's. Yeah, but, I mean, with all that he pitched 16 seasons and he only had 194 wins. He couldn't even get to 200 wins, and that's later on after he turned like 30, he had one good year for the Yankees at age 31, 11-7. Then he went 9-5, 8-6, and it's just then it was for the last 2 or 3 years he didn't have many wins and totals and stuff. So it wasn't like he was pumping out 9, 10, 11 wins for 5, 6 years that would have gotten him maybe to 250.
Yeah,
250.
true.
And you're talking okay, well, yeah, not 300, but I think there are a couple 250 win pitchers in the Hall of Fame.
Sure. But, yeah. Well, I mean, and there could be something to the fact that there's a recency bias too. If you're a voter and you've seen Doc Gooden pitch for the last 5 years and he's been mediocre, it doesn't matter that he was dominant in 84, 85, 86. That's not the point, and look at Koufax. He ends his career at his peak, so all they have seen is brilliance for 5 years. So maybe there's something I don't know. I always think of him as a pitcher that, well, number one, obviously the potential that wasn't fulfilled, because of some of his personal demons, but just a similar, I don't know. The Hall of Fame is so interesting to me. I could, some of the voting and the results and the surprises. I think Ted Simmons, that was a good one. I had no problem with Ted Simmons getting in recently.
I didn't really, honestly, I didn't know too much about Ted Simmons. I didn't. So I was like, Ted Simmons, who's Ted Simmons? And I still don't really know all his stats and stuff. But I figured, okay, hey, the Veterans Committee, they saw something in Ted Simmons, and I think he had a pretty long career catcher. When there's one thing to have a long career. When you have a long career catching,
oh my goodness,
that's even more impressive. So,
oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I totally agree. The knees, the back, everything that, I can't even imagine what Johnny Bench goes.
And back then there wasn't a, hey, you can't run into the catcher. You can't hurt the catcher's feelings. I mean, the catcher's like, I'm going to block the plate. And if you want to tag the plate, you got to get through me. That's how it was back then.
Yeah.
And
well, people still get mad at Pete Rose for the All-Star game with Ray Fosse. People are still giving the man. It's like he's trying to win the game. The guy's blocking the plate. That's what you did back then,
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think even back then it was for who was the home team in the World Series. I mean, it was just for fun. There wasn't any need. Yeah. But that's again getting back to people that he loved the game and he played hard. It wasn't a, hey, hey kids, let's go out back into the local playground and play some baseball and have some fun. I mean, he loved to play the game and play it hard. And if he was going to play, he was going to give his all. I don't care. He could have been playing an exhibition of a preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
And he would have run everything out and all that stuff. And that's just Pete Rose. He was just,
Oh yeah.
But
I have one quick story for you. I was at the home game in Tampa Bay, the game before Boggs got his 3,000th hit.
Really?
I went with my grandfather and my dad. About a 2-hour drive. We were trying to be there for his 3,000th hit, and we were one game off. So
wow.
Yeah, saw it on TV, but after that, we tried to be there, but there was, buzz. Everyone was, oh my goodness, his history today. Save your ticket stub, and I think he went over 3, or he walked, but but no.
Wow. Yeah, I have, I think two game used that I think even unused because it's not torn off. And one of them, I think I have two of them. One is signed, and one I think is the torn off one,
cool.
and they kept what they kept. So I think I have 3. But my buddy Rich, I think he has 10 of them.
Wow,
game tickets and stuff. Oh yeah,
that's the guy you're hanging out with in Chicago.
Yeah. I mean,
cool.
if people comment on what's behind me, he has 3-4 times this stuff. It's just he is amazing. It's a museum. It's not just a collection. It's a museum. And anything and everything with Boggs on it, he tries to get. I mean, it's.
Well, you've got some cool stuff. I mean, you have the coolest background of any YouTube channel, I will say.
Yeah.
Because I'm always like, you're talking and I'm listening, but I'm also like, oh, I didn't see that before. Ooh, what's that?
What's
Ooh,
that?
yeah.
And yeah, I need to do like another video because of like some of my display cases. Unfortunately, I'm going to need to use my camera, and I don't know about the light. I'm going to be doing a video of at least some of the display cases because you can't really see that. And I did one video of the room way early on. Now it's gotten to be a little bit of a mess. It's not as clean and nice, but I can still show off the display cases and stuff. So I'll have that as an upcoming video. So
no, that'd be awesome. Yeah, no, I'm always on the lookout. I see the 3,000. That's a new one. I was like, oh, there's a 3,000 hit poster.
That one.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I hadn't seen that one.
That poster there, I have two of them.
Okay? Oh, cool.
Because that's one side. The other side, and I have it framed, but it's stored because I have no room for it. It has a listing of every single hit of his 3,000th hit. And again, it's not whom it's. I think it's the date and the picture, and maybe the game. It's something like, I mean, just very brief, and it's line by line by line by line in columns.
Wow!
All of his 3,000 hits.
That's awesome.
And right now I just don't have a place to display it. I'd rather display that because that looks a little bit cooler and stuff. But yeah, the other side has that. So I bought two of them so I can display both sides eventually.
He was a great hitter, man. I mean, you picked a good player. I mean, 328 average, right? 328 career average.
Oh, okay. I get to, and if Wade probably isn't watching this, or if he started watching it by now, almost 3 hours in, he's not watching it now. I have to chuckle. I post a card of the day on Twitter and our Facebook account that Rich and I have. I've been doing it for like 7 years now, almost religiously every single day. I still got 5 or 6 more years to go with what I have. But I posted a 1999 Topps Tech card, and there's 60 different versions of 30 home in a home uniform, 30 in a away uniform, and the backgrounds are just different. They're just different patterns and all that stuff. Well,
okay,
I posted the one today, and as I'm posting it, I'm looking at it and I go, that's not right. It says on the one side near him says career like batting average. And at the top you can make out it says 3, 2, and I'm like, that's a 9. I'm like, he didn't have a career batting average of 329. It was 328. So when I posted it, I said, card of the day, blah, blah, blah. I said, can you spot the error? And the Twitter, because sometimes Wade, likes my tweets, or every once in a while will retweet or whatever. But he typically, when he sees it, he'll like the post.
Oh, that's cool.
Someone had commented 329 average ? And Wade replied like yes with a nice big smiley face, like, yeah, 329. And then shortly after that, he goes, wait a minute, no, it was 328. He goes, they had a brain freeze. He had a little emoji of like a frozen head. And he goes, wait a minute, no, I bet a 328. So even it caught him off guard of 329. I'm like, wait a minute, no, my career batting average is 328. So even it tripped Wade for just a little bit. I had to, it was all in good fun. He was joking around, but yeah, I started a little Twitter thing going around with saying that Boggs had a 329 career batting average and was 328.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, no, he that's cool that he retweets and stuff. That's pretty neat. Oh, well, I mean, and I imagine he remembers you now when you meet him, right? Like he remembers your.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was. I've met him about 4 times, I think, at the show in northern New Jersey. Of course, they didn't have it last year, and they didn't have it this year. But no, they had it last year because it was early on pre-pandemic. Because in January they didn't have it. And I think the second or third time I was there, he has his handlers, as all the signers players do, is they take the tickets and say what you can and can't do and all that stuff. And I had a photo op taken before he started signing, and he turns to one of his handlers or whatever who was there organizing, and he goes, "Hey, this guy's one of my biggest fans. And when I was such as like it's like, hey John, how are you? And I can just say, hi Wade, and goes, hey John, and when he was signing something for me, he had posted something on Twitter. It was National Dog Day or something like that, and he got a little Yorkie. And I had posted, hey Wade, we just got a Yorkie too, and all that stuff. And so we were talking like pets as he was signing something for me at one of the shows. I'm like, hey, how's your dog? And I think he actually had to get rid of that dog. He got a new one because I think with grandkid, it was being a little more aggressive or something like that. Yeah, we had to get rid of that, but we got a new one. I'm like, oh, well, we love ours. And I was showing you like pictures of, hey, here's our, it's just, I don't, he's so personable.
That's cool.
He's great. He's great to his fans. You reach out to him to get something signed through the mail. He does collect some money, but it's to go to a charity.
That's nice.
So he'll return stuff. Every time I've met him, he's just been so appreciative of his fans. He follows. I'm sure he's watched some of my videos, but he follows me on Twitter. He wished me a happy birthday last week on Twitter. So yeah, it's I don't know. It's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. I have to say.
Yeah, no, that's well. I mean, the fact that he's your favorite player and you have your collection in large part centered on him, obviously, and that he knows you. That's neat. That doesn't happen every day.
No,
that's cool.
It doesn't. I am blessed that I've gotten to know a Hall of Fame. And again, there's somewhere, you follow these players, and I don't want to name names because I don't even know, but I'm sure it happens where you follow someone and maybe you finally get to meet them, and they don't know who you are, they're rude, or you think they're rude to you or whatever, and you're disappointed because you put them on a pedestal. Which is like athletes, actors, acting, you name it. That who knows, if you ever meet them in person, they may not be the same as their persona.
Absolutely.
Wade's he's exactly how he seems.
I met I worked in a men's retail store when I was an undergraduate student in Florida, and the Fort Myers where the Twins train and the Red Sox train. And one day, a whole bunch of Twins players descended on this mall, and someone walks in the store, and I'm like, I think that's Joe Mauer. I'm like, yep. I'm just gonna go up to him. So I walk up, Mr. Mauer. He goes, I think he thought I was gonna ask him for an autograph. While I was, he was like, yes. He was like, welcome to Perry Ellis, and he goes, thank you. I'm gonna try some stuff on. Is that okay? I was like, absolutely. Let me open the dressing room for you. He stayed in there for an hour and a half. I think he bought suits, dress shirts. Just the nicest guy. Once we got past that barrier of
because again, he was just like, oh, okay, good. At least you're treating me somewhat like a normal person.
Yeah, which is what they are.
And that's how I've always interacted with Wade. He's a Hall of Fame baseball. He's a guy. He's a nice. And if you deal with these players at that level, if you don't bother them, and just treat like Mike Mussina. Okay, Mike Mussina grew up locally here near where I live. I would see him occasionally at Bucknell basketball games. I don't go to too many. My parents have season tickets, usually with non-pandemic. And I don't know if he has season tickets, but he goes. He likes to watch the local basketball. Bucknell is, sometimes gone to the NCAA tournament, that type of thing. I saw him. I think the first year he was eligible for the Hall of Fame. He wasn't a first year. I think it was his third try. He got in, maybe fourth. I don't know. Anyway, I think it was his first year of eligibility. The game was done. Everyone was leaving the basketball court, and all stuff. We were outside and stuff like that. And he was 6 feet away from me. He was talking. It doesn't look like he was talking. He was like looking for someone or whatever. Not much. People didn't. They weren't hanging around. I'm like, oh, Mike, hey, can I just went up to him and I said, hey, Mike, can you turn to me? And I said, hey, good luck with the Hall of Fame voting. It wasn't like, hey, can you sign us? I'm like, good luck with the Hall of Fame voting. He goes, thank you. And again.
Yeah.
And I think if you treat these players like people, they're people. I mean, they're not like, worshipped. And I've heard some things maybe about Mike Mussina. I think if you're rude or trying to get this, he may be a little bit rude, but he's fine. He seemed fine to me. I just went up to him and said, hey, good luck. And he says, thank you. And I didn't
Yeah.
bother him. And I went back on my way, and he was with his family and left or whatever. And
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, and I think that's a nice, you still have a memory with it. You know, like you remember seeing him and talking to him, and it probably made his night that someone, number one, recognized him out like that and then wished him luck and didn't just shove 5 cards in his face to get signed, which I'm sure I would rather have a conversation. That's what's so weird about autographs. It like takes away from a chance you could just have to talk to someone.
yeah.
You have something now. Cool. I have something, but I didn't interact with him. I didn't get to ask a question. I just like to talk to Joey Votto. I don't need an autograph from Joey Votto. I just think it'd be cool to chat with him about hitting or, so autographs for me, I like autographs. I've collected autographs, but it's so funny when you think about it. You're missing a chance to really actually talk to someone for the sake of having their name written. I don't know. When you think about it, to me, it's kind of unusual.
Right. Yeah. And when I've met Wade at signings, I mean, I've always made a point just engaging in a little bit of chat.
Yeah.
In fact, I may have told the story on a video or not, but I've told it to other people.
Sure.
And I think it was that year where I was talking to him about his dog and our dog. And I had brought a and you may not be able to see it. It's sort of right just outside the camera, right there is a Yankees home jersey, the pinstripe.
Sure.
And I wanted him to sign it for me. And he is like to John, a great fan, 96 World Series, Wade Boggs Hall of Fame, that type of thing. Okay. So we're there, and I'm in line, and he's doing his, to John and whatever. And because I said, this is what I'd like you to put on it. And he's like, sure, no problem. And we're talking, and he's like, yeah. And he's here you go. I'm like, hey, thanks, Wade. Shake his hand. We go. And I get home. I drive home all the way for 3-4 hour drive. And I'm, getting ready to take a picture. Hey, show it on, Facebook, whatever. Look at this. And I look at the jersey and I go, he forgot to sign it. He put the inscription to John, a great fan, 96 World Series. And we just were talking, and he was just like, yep. And he complete. And so I private messaged him over Twitter and said, hey, Wade, I said, guess what? I said, in our talk and stuff like that, I said, and I showed a picture. I said, yeah, she forgot to sign it. And he goes, oh my gosh. He said, my bad. I said, can I send it down? Can I mail it down to you, to his house? I have his address. And so he said, yeah, send it down and stuff. And I said, is it okay if I include the picture that from the photo op? I said, could I, since I'm sending it, can I include that? Well, would you mind signing? He goes, absolutely. That's no problem. Send it down. I got that back within a week or 10 days from getting down there, him signing it and shipping it back. And
nice.
Use the same ink. And so you can't tell, but I had that story of him signing it.
That's cool.
Everything but his autograph, and then him signing it later for me. So
that's cool.
And that's because we were involved in a little conversation. It's not just like, hi, Wade, sign this. Thank you. And please, hey, I'm a great fan. I mean, it's
that's pretty cool. I mean, that's a neat way to not have a signature on something. At least he was engaged. He was actually interested in what you were saying. It wasn't just like, I love you. You're a great player. Thanks.
Next.
Yeah. Which, I mean, they don't have to be nice. They could just treat it like I'd love to meet Pete Rose. I should have done it at the National in 2019. I don't know why I didn't want to spend the money to do it. But I had a chance in Vegas to meet. I've had 2 chances in Vegas to meet him because he signs at Caesar's Palace, the shop's there. And I just haven't done it. So at some point, he lives and works in Vegas. And he's like, I swear, I don't gamble. And everyone's like, you got to help yourself there, Pete.
And maybe move to Maine. I mean, don't live in Vegas if you did it. But anyway,
he still owns a racehorse. I think he's just a gambler.
But
he's
Don, I'm not sure if you've left yet, but thank you. Have a good night and a good weekend as well. So thanks for joining us. I'm not sure if he's still on yet or whether he left. So I think we may have broken a Hobby Talk record. I
Oh,
think we're
wow.
now
Okay.
at 3 hours and 10 minutes.
Okay.
Each one seems to get longer. I'm gonna have to. The more of these I'm gonna do, we're gonna have to take a pause for like a bathroom break, and then come back and then start the second half of Hobby. No, this has been great. I'm sure we could talk like for another
Oh, sure.
hour.
Yeah, no,
But
absolutely.
you have a family. I saw
Yeah.
your daughter. This is the first time. Beautiful daughter
Oh,
that you
thank
have.
you.
I'm
Thank you.
sure you and your wife and your daughter want to spend some time on Friday night here, which is already past 11 o'clock, but maybe they're
Sure.
already in bed. But Brandon, thank you so much
Absolutely.
for joining me. Again, up to this point, we've just had some little interaction on our videos, a couple emails back and forth. It was really nice getting to know you more. I hope to see you at the National in
Yes.
July. I'm not going to be staying right in the area, so it won't be like,
Sure.
hey, let's go out and eat and drink and
Yeah.
see you in the morning type of thing. But I hope I get a chance to see you again in person, just like a lot of you out there on YouTube and stuff. So yeah, again, Brandon, thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's been a lot of fun. Great time getting to know you, and I look forward to seeing more of your Wade box collection.
Excellent. Thanks. All right. And guys, hey, for those of you who have watched, those 4 people, those 4 brave souls that are still watching, thank
I
you.
can't believe
I'm not sure. I'm not sure who you are, but I don't know if it's Justin, if you're still on. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. I will be processing this, recording it. I think it'll post maybe tomorrow evening. I think I scheduled it for around 6 o'clock. So, yeah. Again, Brandon, thank you. Everyone
Absolutely.
who viewed in, have a great weekend, and I'll probably see you on Monday. All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye.